sleepbox.com to find out more.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Get early access to Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. 25% off the i8 bed, our most popular. Plus free home delivery. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health-friendly workplace. Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Temperatures still on the cool side this afternoon with a high of 82. That's well below normal, but the clouds are keeping our temperatures down. We'll also have a good chance of showers and storms as the afternoon and evening wears on. 72 overnight tonight, and tomorrow more of the same, a little warmer with highs in the mid-80s, but a chance of late-day storms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 189 points to 43,986.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws, end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits! Game over! Series over! Sebastian!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. Happy new week to you all. New week, make it work for you. I'm Tim Donnelly. Max Gorin producing the show, sitting in for Dennis today. If you care about final scores in the preseason, first of all, why do you care about final scores in the preseason? But if you do, 30-10. It was a loss for the Panthers. 30-10. I don't care about the final score. I do care about the big 3 at 3. Let's jump into it. And of course, number 1 is going to be preseason game 1.
Number 1.
Panthers preseason game 1 action. You can't claim, just to be clear here, you can't be picky with what you think is real and fake without reason. You can't claim some of it is overreacting and then take other stuff as tried and true and real. For example, you can't say Turk Wharton struggling, right? Your big free agency defensive line acquisition didn't do much, got pushed around. Oh, that's nothing. It's a small sample size. It's Turk Wharton. He'll be great. And then look at something like Jalen Coker comes in after the Xavier Legette fight, ejection, and looks great. And now you're like, that's real. He's a stud. I've been saying it all along. Right? You can't have it both ways. So you have to be honest with yourself. Right? You can't just take the good and then forget about the bad. You have to accept it all. And if you're going to put 10% stock in all of it, you have to put 10% stock in all of it, right? I'm not saying everything has to be gospel. Going into the game, there were a few things I wanted to see, and I said them last week. I wanted to see the physical superiority, particularly of the new guys. If you're supposed to be big, tall, strong, and fast, I wanted you to look big, tall, strong, and fast. I wouldn't say everybody showed that, but I would say the rookies did. I thought Teteroa McMillan looked physically better than the guys that were trying to guard him. I thought Lathan Ransom in the secondary laid some physical hits down that made it seem like, oh, yeah, you have been playing big games at Ohio State. Right? There was that. And what else did I say? Well, you want to start sorting out position battles. You want to start sorting out position battles, and at least one of those got sorted out because earlier today, Dave Canales told the world Austin Corbett will be their starting center. It sounded like this.
You know, we talked to Austin and we talked to Cade Mays. They both did a great job. Austin Corbett's going to be our starting center. And we decided to make that decision knowing that this week going to Houston with the joint practice and then having the game, we felt like those reps, you know, just kind of solidifying who's the starter going to be with Bryce. It's a good time to kind of transition to where he's getting more of those reps versus splitting them day after day. It was really close. I'll be honest. I thought Cade did a fantastic job orchestrating the group when he was out there, getting his snaps off on time, moving people in the run game, anchoring in the pass. I mean, it was a really close competition, and I think Corbett just kind of brings a level of leadership that just kind of edged him out, in my opinion. So, but again, competition brings out the best in both guys, and I was really proud of the way that they competed.
I think that's good to be settled. That offensive line now is what we thought it was going to be. It is the exact five that we thought it was going to be. Damian Lewis, a little banged up right now. One of the guards, Robert Hunt, also a little touchy right now with some injury stuff. But at least the five guys, you know who they're going to be when healthy. I think that's important. And the offensive line, you know, a lot of those decisions are made by the center. I think that's good. If that's all that came out of the first preseason game, if that is it, that is a productive first preseason game. Really, because now the offense knows, I mean, you could tweak the wide receiver rotation a little. Some were a little surprised by how much Rico Dowdle played. Right? There could be little tweaks here, but the offense is settled, and now it's just about building chemistry and peaking heading into game one. There's a lot else we could take away from that game. Still haven't even mentioned Bryce Young. Slow start, good finish, and we will get to that, by the way, at about 3:15. So you got a little less than 10 minutes till we dive wholeheartedly into the offense of the Carolina Panthers in game one. Right now, we'll dive wholeheartedly into number two.
Number two.
There were other NFL preseason games going on. There were other, and I know it's crazy, right? It seemed like all the attention was on the Panthers. Or more specifically, it seemed like all the attention was on Shedeur Sanders, at least from a national standpoint. Have you seen anything like that? Nike ran a "I told you so" ad for a guy playing mediocre in a preseason football game. They literally ran like a "let me rub it in the face of all of the people that doubted him on draft day" ad, when all he did was play mediocre in a preseason scrimmage
against Panthers backups.
And yeah, exactly. It took him 2 drives to even really get going. He 3 for 7 on the first 2 drives. It was just a weird decision by everybody involved.
What did it say? It's just a matter of time or something?
Yeah, which is the exact, like, that's not what it, well, that's just, first of all, he does the watch celebration where he holds up his wrist as if he's showing off an expensive watch. So the time thing was a double entendre. But that's the exact opposite of what you're going with. It took time. It was literally the first preseason game since he was drafted. You're saying it didn't take any time. Do you know what I think it was? If I'm being real honest, and we may have to address this later, just because there's not enough time right now. I think Nike's afraid that he's never going to play well again. And they had this cool ad, so they didn't want to go, no, we'll use it when he plays well in a regular season game because they're not sure that's ever going to happen. So they're like, just use it now. Who knows if we'll get another chance?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's the best quarterback they have.
Not to win right now, maybe physically.
I mean, nobody that they have will win right now.
If they're trying to win games, it'd be Flacco. He's proven that with the Browns in the last couple of years. If they're going long term, I'd say Shedeur over Dylan Gabriel, but they drafted Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur, so they're saying they don't even believe that. But let's rewind. Let's not even go there. I'll give you one quick piece of uplifting preseason information. You know who balled the heck out and we didn't talk enough about? Former UNC guard, All-American Willie Lampkin. Willie Lampkin, in his preseason debut for the Rams, according to Pro Football Focus, which we do have to lean on those numbers a bit for offensive line because it's not like they have carries or catches or some other stat we can lean on. He was the top player on the Rams offense, number one. For those of you that don't remember Willie Lampkin, he's like 5'9", 280 pounds. He was an All-American at UNC as a guard, and some believed he was going to have to drop a few pounds and try to play fullback in the NFL. Maybe he could be some kind of a blocking tight end. He just straight up played guard and pancaked folks. 0 pressures allowed, 92 run blocking grade, 79 pass blocking grade. He was an absolute monster. Shout out to Willie Lampkin. We didn't talk about you enough. I thought he'd be buried on the depth chart so far I wasn't even sure he was going to play in the preseason. But the Rams don't play any starters, so they got a little chance, and he ran with it. That's number 2. Let's round out the big 3 at 3.
Number 3.
Speaking of interior offensive linemen at UNC, Austin Blaske, according to, I believe it was Inside Carolina, hurt. Blaske has been lost for upwards of 2 months, this according to Inside Carolina, due to a non-contact foot injury suffered in training camp. Multiple sources told Inside Carolina yesterday. Sources said the foot is broken and the 6-year senior is expected to miss the Tar Heels opening games, though Blaske and the team are awaiting further evaluation and thus a full diagnosis. That coming from Inside Carolina one more time. This is another reason, I don't even say a reason or the reason, another reason to think UNC getting off to a slow start could be likely. Right? In addition to working so many new pieces in, again, upwards of 70 plus new transfers, incoming freshmen on the roster. That is a ton. Some of the projectors, which, I mean, trying to project what Bill Belichick is going to do, not always the best business, but some of the projections have 9 or 10 new starters on defense, meaning players that are new to the program, not just replacing starters. But one of the things we knew, right, we talked about this last week, everybody pretty much agrees, UNC is one of the great mysteries in college football this year. They're a grab bag. They're potpourri. They're who knows. We tried to come up with 3 things we absolutely knew about UNC. If they're the biggest mystery, what can we know? One of the things I believe we know about UNC this year is that they want to win with ball control and defense. Right? A tiger doesn't change his stripes. Bill Belichick wants a turnover-free offense and a strong defense as he builds a program. O-line is a big part of that. Blaske is a big part of the O-line. As a returning player, as a center, right, which is really important in college football, particularly when implementing a new offense, because so much of it is the communication from quarterback to center and center to the rest of the offensive line. So let's say he misses like the non-conference schedule, right? If he misses the first month, and then he shows up, and then their offense takes a step forward. That's going to feel like they started really slow, when in actuality they were just missing one of their dudes. And yes, offensive linemen, they rarely get the credit they deserve until they're missing. Right? It's one of those you don't know what you got till it's gone situations, and he might start the season gone. Really good player, 6-year senior. I believe he was at Georgia earlier in his career, so you know what kind of a recruit he was. And that's it for the top 3, big three at 3 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. You heard me say it earlier, the Panthers preseason Game 1 reactions. We got to talk about the offense, the good, the bad, the superstar, and the fist fights. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Stick around.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Is your heating and air system handling the hot weather okay? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Panthers preseason Game 1, final score 30 for the Browns, 10 for the Panthers. But when Bryce Young walked off the field for the final time, what are we looking at? Like 7-zippy? What are we looking at? 7-0, right? Hey, it's all how you frame it. Let's talk offense. There was good and there was bad. Okay, and if you think it was all one or the other, you're just wrong. I will say this, though. The good, to me, is more enticing, right? I think the good is more imagination-provoking, and the bad, I think, is stuff that can be fixed. When we're looking at the starting offense, I want to be clear. Most of the conversations we're going to have about the Panthers today are going to be framed in one of two ways. We're either talking about the starters or we're talking about the backups. Because if there was anything proven true by the first preseason game, right? I don't think you're allowed to take away any hard and fast new opinions from a preseason game. But if one of your previous opinions that you already thought about the team is ridiculously reinforced, you're allowed to let those reinforcements kind of take hold. If there's anything we learned about the Panthers, it's that their depth is terrifying. Every injury brings you one step closer to catastrophe. So we're talking starters here. The starters left me very excited. And that's not saying there wasn't bad. Again, it's just saying the starters left me tantalized. Actually, let's hear from Dave Canales first, right? You want to hear from the coach. Here's Dave Canales assessing the starting offense.
Yeah, I thought it was good to just kind of see, some of the matchups that we took advantage of. And, some guys made plays down the field. T-Mac made a nice play down the field. Jalen Coker comes in, when Xavier goes out and did a fantastic job. Like we didn't skip a beat, made some great plays that way too. So I saw some good rhythm. And I think, the first drive, wasn't what we wanted, but it was good to just get the group out there, just working together, getting into the flow of the game, getting some good runs. Loved how hard Chuba ran, Rico ran, Yeah, there was a good enough work there, and thinking about maybe getting him another series as we go into Houston, to just kind of feel the flow of the game and have to be out there, kind of work through things on the sideline.
Let's start with the big parts. Tetairoa McMillan did everything I wanted him to do and more. Everything. Because you can go back and find it. It was as if, and I know he didn't, or maybe he did, but I wouldn't guess he did. It was as if he listened to the show before the game and said, let me run through the checklist of things the drive on 99.9 The Fan wanted me to do, and I'll do each of them. I wanted him to look physically gifted, right? I wanted him to be the one that makes the Panthers offense looks different than last year, where at times I thought they just didn't have the horses, right? They didn't have the speed, the physicality to keep up with other defenses. What does he do? Goes right out there and has 2 catches for 40-something yards. Even the one that we'll talk about, the missed connection down on the goal line, he shows that at 6'4 plus, he has the quick feet to get open in a phone booth. Physically, he did some things that we haven't seen Panthers wide receivers do. And then the other thing I requested was he makes some contested catches, because I wanted Bryce Young to see him making tough catches so the confidence will build, right? Quarterbacks are very much, I don't know why it only gets pinned on like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Quarterbacks are tough to have somebody gain their trust. You always hear about it, right? They like their guys. They want to bring in their friends. Oh, so-and-so hasn't earned their trust yet. That's every quarterback. And trust is only gained one bit at a time. I throw you a tough catch, you make the catch, boom, a little bit more. So now I might throw you 2 tough catches. You make 2 tough, boom, a little more. Throw you a jump ball. You make the catch, good. I throw you a bad ball, you play defense, prevent me from getting a interception on my statistics. Boom, I trust you a little bit more. So what I wanted to see was McMillan make more contested catches. He makes the over-the-top shoulder grab, or over-the-shoulder, over-the-top grab on the sideline. I'm going, boom. That's one that Bryce now is uber confident in Tetairoa McMillan, and we've seen that play run in preseason practices. We've seen it run in games now. Just a go ball, could be a stutter and go, could be a true 9 route, whatever it is, but the over-the-shoulder catch, he's really good at. And it's an interesting way. I'm going to football nerd out here real quick. It's an interesting way for him to use his wingspan. The dude is lanky, right? He's tall, long arms. Usually, the wide receivers we see that use their length the best, it's coming back to the ball, right? It's reaching out and grabbing the ball a yard in front of their face. It's jump balls, right, where the defense can't quite get there because you're able to reach higher. What he does on those sideline routes, it's like a reverse box out almost. If you watch, right at the last second, he slows down his body, but his arms keep going to make the catch, kind of fully extended. And what that does is whatever his wingspan is, now the defense has to go through his body and then another 3 feet to get out to where he's catching the ball. It's the reverse of what guys like Antonio Gates have popularized as basketball players, where you're boxing out and making catches in front of you. He's making catches over the top, but his length and his torso get to play defense for him, and he catches it. The route was the route, I should say. Nothing special. He had the guy on his hip, but that's all it takes as long as Bryce is willing to and able to toss it over the top and let him kind of play that Willie Mays style catch. And now let's talk about the one on the goal line. That's a tough route, meaning a lot of ins and outs and a lot of foot pitter-patter. The route was bonkers. The route was very good. Got him open on the goal line. The anticipation from Bryce was fantastic. Obviously, Tetairoa McMillan isn't used to somebody having that kind of anticipation throwing him the ball, or at least he wasn't expecting it on that particular play. I don't love that he didn't burst out of it. I don't love that he didn't snap his eyes around. That's all learning opportunity. But I do love the immediate communication. I loved how he immediately saw the ball go by, tapped his chest, looked at Bryce, gave him the thumbs up. That quick communication to say, "I'll be ready next time." That's on me. Great job by you. I'll be ready next time. After the game, T-Mac talked to the media about having to come up with that catch for Bryce.
Nah, you can't. At the end of the day, we got to, if the ball comes our way, we got to make a play. And if it don't happen, then shoot, get the next one.
T-Mac, that looked like more of a timing thing than what you would call a drop. Was it the thing about getting your head around a little quicker? Or?
Yeah, I just got to get my head around quicker. Like I said, that was a perfect ball from Bryce, and, I'll finish those next time.
Do you know what's actually, I think, the issue there? I don't think he realized how quickly he won. Right? Because for everybody that wants to play it in slow motion and saw that, Bryce started making the throw while Tetero McMillan was still actually jabbing out, right? Selling the corner route. Bryce recognized Tetero McMillan won before he even jabbed out because the defender was on his outside hip. All he had to do, right? The goal line is a different place, right? All you have to do is catch it. We don't have to worry about you catching it and keeping your momentum going. We don't have to worry about you catching it and staying on your feet for yards after catch. We just have to, as soon as you win, get your head around, I'm putting it on you. So that's that nonverbal communication that they'll get better at. I don't think Tetero McMillan had to sell the out nearly as much as he did. He could have worried about getting his head around and paying attention much earlier. It's almost like as soon as you win, just turn around. As soon as you win, as soon as you have it and you're in the end zone, turn around. I'll put it right on the numbers on your jersey, make the catch, or the number, you're wearing a single digit, and we'll go from there. Bryce as a whole was up and down. And even the good needs to be taken with a salt shaker of salt. Right? Because I think most people would agree. First drive, bad. Second drive, good. Right? First drive was running play, incomplete pass, sack, punt. That's not what you want. Against the Browns backups, that's not what you want. Second drive, much better, right? Got rolling, ended up scoring a touchdown, did everything you're looking for. But even that, right? That's not a true, the touchdown pass cancels out the early struggles, good and bad. It's not truly that, because if you look at the touchdown pass, people are calling it playground football, where he scrambled around and he looked at Jalen Coker and he pointed him go back left, and then he put the ball on the money, touchdown. If you watch that play back, it came when two edge rushers ran into each other. Right, both of the Browns' edge rushers collapsed the pocket, and then they bonked into each other, and arms and limbs were flailing all over the place. Imagine if that is Myles Garrett, because that's what it is in a game, right? Probably one a little bit quicker, probably a little bit more in control, probably a little bit wider wingspan. I'm not saying Bryce Young doesn't make the play, but I'm saying the degree of difficulty goes up tenfold if even just one stud is out there on the field. If the Browns' backups were able to get that close, you have to think about what the starters are going to do, which is where that grain salt shaker worth of salt comes in. You love the confidence. You love the improbability. You love the chemistry between he and Coker. There's a lot to like there. But there is also a real conversation you have to have on what could we have done in a way, what could we have done better that would have made all of that improv not even necessary? Could we have scored on a more traditional play? Could I have gotten the ball out of my hand? Whatever it is. Could the play have been designed better? Could someone else have made an adjustment? So we don't depend on playground football. Because you put the starters out there, that's a different beast. Now, that's a big hypothetical, right? You don't know what it's going to be. True. But I'm confident Myles Garrett would have raised the degree of difficulty quite a bit. And let's not pretend like the Browns are some world-beating defense as it is. There's good players on a lot of teams. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on here, Tim Donnelly for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I stopped by there earlier today. Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh, just to check it out. Why? Well, for the same reason you should get out there to check it out. They have the largest selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolexes in the state. They have an awesome estate watch entire case. They have constantly new things coming in from brands like Hamilton, from brands like La Chute Original, like the Omega Boutique. the largest shop of its kind for Omega in the country. You have to stop out because when you are a official retailer of Omega, of Glashütte Original, of I'm blanking on 50 Fathoms, Blancpain, there we go. Almost forgot one of the granddaddies of them all. Blancpain, when you're an official retailer, they're going to keep basically updating their stock. So if there's something brand new coming out in 2025, you need to go out there and check it out as it comes in. And obviously with the pre-owned and vintage Rolex, with the estate watches, you might miss out on your dream watch if you don't stop by often enough. But you can let them know what you're looking out for. So I stopped in. There was some really cool stuff. There was some really cool pre-owned and vintage Rolexes. I am a bit of an Omega fanboy, so I go by the Speedmasters every time I'm in there. Hamiltons are awesome. Some of the Hamilton scuba stuff, I just love the way they look. They're not pretending to be anything else. They're just being Hamilton, which I respect. Go ahead and check it out, right? And stop by, right? And talk to them. Very, very expert staff. Fox & Bailey, it's the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Let them know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List coming up. A few extra accolades going to be passed out. Don't miss it. Stick around.
Hot summer days mean time on the water. Let Sound Station and Security make your time even better with our custom boat options. At Sound Station and Security, our Raleigh marine experts can help you for everything with your boat, from the perfect audio system to lights to video. We do it all custom, and we do it all from scratch. You're unique. Your boat should be too. Make sure everyone knows where the best party is this summer on the lake with Sound Station and Security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. The Sign and Save sales event is happening now at Clayton Homes and Oakwood Homes, but only through August 31st. You can save up to $5,000 instantly on your new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. Discover the comfort, the style, and the value of a Clayton-built home, crafted with North Carolina in mind. From modern floor plans to energy-saving upgrades and premium finishes, there's a home fitting your lifestyle and, of course, your budget. And with summer heating up, it's the perfect time to enjoy energy-smart features for year-round comfort and savings. Stop by, tour our fully furnished models, or visit manufacturedhomeoffers.com and browse limited-time deals. But don't wait. The Sign and Save sales event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the Dean's List. It's not really a game, but it's something we're going to make happen. Let's go ahead and put class in session. All right, this is where we give a few extra accolades, a little extra praise to those that are directly or indirectly related to the college sports world. I'll start. How about Kate Harpering? I love when I give a Dean's List and whoever's producing the show, in this case Max, you can tell by their face they're just like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Who's that? Actually, this is perfect because you're so young. Do you know who Matt Harpring is?
No.
Man, Matt Harpring, NBA player, ACC legend in his own right from late 90s, early 2000s maybe. I have a vivid image of a trading card I used to have of him on the Orlando Magic. But his daughter, 5-star 2026 guard Katie Harpring, has committed to North Carolina. Depending on what service you look at as far as ranking recruits, number 1 overall recruit, number 2 overall recruit. I've seen her as low as number 4. Gosh, that's such disrespect. But she's committed to UNC, which is obviously great for UNC, great for college basketball in the Triangle, and I believe shows there's a little bit of NIL money being spent by the women's basketball clubs or programs in the Triangle as well. So one of the top recruits in the country coming to UNC, Katie Harpring. And for those of you that are a bit older than Max, Matt Harpring is a great guy's name and dudes. Just remember that guy? Oh yeah, Matt Harpring. More Dean's List. So the ESPN put out their All-American team. College football preseason All-American team. I have a few entries from that list. Chandler Rivers, Duke, only player in the Triangle on the first or second team for ESPN. Cornerback, he was a second-team ESPN All-American. He's a very good player. He pops up on a bunch of All-American lists. He's been in the Dean's List a whole bunch because he keeps getting honors like this, so congratulations to him. Also, Pittsburgh football. Pittsburgh. We're talking Panthers in the ACC. I'm gonna read to you the teams that have 3 first-team selections. Clemson, Alabama. That's it. They have 3 first-team selections on ESPN's All-American team. Now I'm gonna read you the teams that have 2 first-teamers. Ohio State, defending national champion. Penn State. In the AP Top 25 poll that came out earlier today, they were 5 points away from being number 2. Notre Dame, notoriously one of the best recruiting teams in the country, and in the national championship game last year. Texas, AP preseason number 1. And Pittsburgh, a middle to below of the road ACC team. That's it. Those are the only teams that have 2 first-teamers on ESPN's All-American. There's Clemson and Alabama with 3, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, Texas, and the Pitt Panthers. All-purpose back Desmond Reed and linebacker Kyle Lewis were the 2. Who are, neither of those are bad picks either. They are legit picks. For reference, Georgia has 1 first-team selection. Pitt has 2. Do you have one you'd like to throw out here, Max?
That's not really a specific one, but I'll give a shout to all the ACC teams that made it into the preseason top 25, including the ones that received votes. Actually, quite a few ACC teams receiving votes in the AP top 25 as well. Clemson was the highest-ranked ACC team at 4, Miami at 10, SMU at 16, and then among the receiving votes, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Duke, Pittsburgh, and Georgia Tech. Or did I say Georgia Tech already? Either way, that's what 6-7 teams that are receiving votes, as well as the 3 that are ranked. Obviously, it means nothing in the preseason because it'll mean nothing.
It doesn't, and it does, and I'll explain that in a second. But Duke, because I always try to explain this one. If you just take the most receiving votes that are not in the top 25 and call that team 26, and then the next one team 27. Duke would be team 41. They would be the 41st team in the country with 6 points in their AP top 25 voting. So it goes deep, but I guess it's better to have more top 50 teams than not have them. So shout out to everybody that received votes. Also, the AP top 25 preseason poll doesn't matter, except it kind of does. And I know I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth there. First of all, it's the most important poll until the college football playoff rankings come out. It does shape public opinion, right? For example, if you beat a team that is 13th in the AP poll week 1, I'm just randomly, I don't have it memorized. everybody's going to go, whoa, what a big win. And just in their brain, you're going to be a better team.
Virginia Tech could be saying that because number 13 is South Carolina.
Exactly. And even if South Carolina goes on to win like 7 games and they're not that good, you still get that bump, and it's good for the conference, right? Because then the next week, if somebody beats Virginia Tech, or a month from there, if somebody beats Virginia Tech in the ACC, all of a sudden everybody's going, wow, that's a big win. They beat Virginia Tech and they beat South Carolina. Remember we all watched that one? It matters because we're human, and it matters because the selection committee is human. And then on top of that, of the top 25 last year, 8 of them made the college football playoff. So, it's not foolproof. It's not every team is going to be good, but it's also a lot of the good teams are going to be selected there. So it's better to be in the mix than not. Last one here for the Dean's List. I am going to do my best to pronounce this correctly. Babatunde Oladatun. He was the number 1 high school basketball player in ESPN's recruiting rankings for 2027. He is reclassifying to the class of 2026 and will graduate in the spring from Blake High School in Maryland. The reason why he's on here is it's the Cooper Flag path. He won't be 17 until December, which is exactly the age that Cooper Flag was. So he won't be turning 18 until December of his freshman year in college, which as the number 1 overall recruit, you would assume would be his only year in college. But it worked out for Cooper. And then the next year, AJ Dibansa also reclassified early. He was a bit older for his class, so it wasn't quite as dramatic. But he reclassifies up. He'll be playing for BYU this year. Some reports have him making $5 to $7 million in NIL. That was his agreement just to go to BYU. So Babatunde is following that path. We may see more of this where, if you're going to make me go to 1 year of college, I'll go to 1 year of college when I'm 17 so I can get to the NBA faster. As long as it keeps working out for teams, they'll keep doing it. According to the ESPN article that kind of broke all this down, his recruitment is expected to intensify with schools Arkansas, Maryland, Virginia Tech, Kansas, Kentucky, and Duke already heavily involved. That does seem like you could just say, we have a path for it to work out for you. You could end up playing with Kyrie in a couple of years.
Yeah, you heard of that Cooper Flag guy? Wouldn't you like to be that?
It worked out for him financially, basketball-wise, and everything else. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Dean's List on a Monday. You know what else we do on Mondays? We name the winners and losers of the last week. I think it'll be a really fun one. We will have winners and losers coming up next, but before we do that, I have a winner for you. Matter of fact, it's a win-win. Winner, Miller Lending. Winner, any of you looking for a mortgage. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending to let you know about their no closing cost loan. And you may say, wait a second, rates, they've been up the past however many years. Who's the winner here? Well, I'll tell you this. You, because if you get a no-cost loan from Miller Lending, you can be the one prepared to take advantage of rates if and or when they drop. Because a no closing cost loan means just that. No closing costs, no third-party fees, no surcharges, no hidden anythings, no money at closing out of your pocket, that extra check. And that's true for every refi. So if rates are a bit higher right now than you were hoping, but you understand that rates likely could drop in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, whenever it is. And as long as it's within the length of your mortgage, you can refinance with no cost to you. Again, you just get the lower monthly payment. You don't have any money out of your pocket when you use a no-cost loan from Miller Lending. So stop paying to buy down rates that you won't keep for more than a few or a handful of years, because if rates drop, you're going to refinance, and that rate won't be your rate anymore. So instead, call Miller Lending. right now. The number is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. Winners and Losers is coming up next. Stick around.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime, and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Adam Gold here for America's #1 sports book. That, of course, FanDuel. And man, are there some exciting things ahead. August 26th, FanDuel Futures Day, a test of your prognostication skills. Who do you like to win the NFL's MVP award? I should say whom. If you fancy Patrick Mahomes, not the first choice, plus 650. How about this? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? You want to stay with Carolina? Plus 12,000. It's worth $1. Tuesday, August 26th, one day only. There will be incentives. You don't get to be the #1 sports book in America without giving back to the masses, but you got to wait until that day, August 26th, to find out what those are. So stare into that crystal ball. Get ready. Play your game. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. On a Monday where, about this time every Monday, we break down who won and who lost the last week. And we will start right now.
This team will never lose again.
Winners and losers, it's more a vibe than it is a score. Right? It's who won and who lost the week, not just who scored more points. I'll start. I'll lead off. Michael Jordan. MJ. Michael Jordan. I don't know if everybody else has this flood their timeline. He and his boat, which is an 82-foot bayless fishing boat called Catch 23, enter into all of these deep-sea diving competitions. We see him at the Big Rock. There's the White Marlin Open. There's kind of up and down the eastern seaboard. And at the Big Rock, most recently, supposedly had one on the line, right? There was a lot of commotion, but I haven't really ever seen him or his boat finish in the money. The White Marlin Open's going on in Ocean City, Maryland this past weekend. Matter of fact, the award ceremony will begin in like 15 minutes here. MJ's in the money. MJ and the Catch-23 crew finished in second place with a 71-pound white marlin, good for just under $400,000 in prize money. It's not a win. The win is millions. But this is the best. Every time he's in one of these competitions, it floods my timeline. So shout out to MJ for being on the podium. First time that I've seen. There's a winner for Michael Jordan. I'll give you a loser. How about a loser, Jerry Jones? How is Micah Parsons still not signed?
Because he won't be until like September 3rd.
And how is it that your best player, or one of your best player, not being signed is so commonplace that we get like 2 days of shock and then everybody just goes to like, oh, it's Jerry Jones. He's just messing around. It's crazy how we just assume he's going to make ridiculous negotiation decisions, but we're like kind of numb to it at this point. So he's a loser. Do you have any winners or losers, Max?
I do. For a winner, and these are both going to be golf. For a winner, I'll go Ricky Fowler. Was right hovering around the cut line to make it to the next playoff event, PGA Tour and the FedEx Cup playoffs. And managed to get it done down the stretch, sneak just inside. I believe he finished 48th out of 50, top 50, make it to the BMW Championship this week. And he was able to just slide in there. But got to give a hat tip to Ricky. I've mentioned this before, we have a tailor-made cardboard cutout of him in our basement that's always watching over us. So shout out to Ricky for getting it done and staying in the playoffs. Loser for that one, pretty clear. Tommy Fleetwood. Poor guy just cannot get it done. It really looked like this time he would. He had I believe a 2-shot lead with 3 holes left, or a 1-shot lead and 2 shots over Justin Rose, who was in his group. Ended up not even making the playoff after 18 holes there in the 4th round. It was difficult to watch.
I have a hot take for this one. First of all, Tommy Fleetwood's not one of like my favorite players, but I would be so happy to see him win.
I think a lot of people feel that way, too.
He's so good. Exactly. Everybody would be excited. I guarantee you, if and or when he finally wins a PGA tournament, there will be like superstar golfers waiting at the edge of the green, like superstars that maybe even missed the cut.
To congratulate him.
To give him a hug and to celebrate, because he's apparently just one of the best dudes on tour. Here's my hot take. I don't think losing hurts him enough. I've never seen someone more calm and collected and speaking logically after a heartbreaking loss. And I think there's something like when Rory loses, he's a jerk. He doesn't talk to the media. He drives away. He has to answer to those questions for months after, as everybody says he's being childish. But I think you have to hate losing that much to win on tour.
To get the motivation. Yeah, I mean, Tommy Fleetwood was doing the interview on the broadcast like while the playoff was going on without him.
As far as being like a good person, he probably handles it way more healthy, like better life. But I don't know. It's kind of the cliche, if you show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. And I hope he figures it out. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're doing winners and losers. I had Rose as the winner and then Tommy Fleetwood as the loser because Rose won, and also he got to avenge. Like, I feel like he was really mad about finishing runner-up and being so close on some other tournaments. Thus, he now wins, right? I don't know. It's maybe a mental thing. Winner. Oh, I've got another winner-loser combo here. Winner and... I don't know. People get mad about this one. Winner, Peyton Wilson, former NC State linebacker. Loser, Dyami Brown, former UNC wide receiver. I don't know if everybody saw this because you probably weren't watching every play of preseason football. Anytime you get suplexed in an NFL game on an NFL field, even if it's preseason, that's going to be a tough moment. When you get suplexed and then you learn that it's a player that went to your college's rival, has to be a little extra sting-worthy. So Peyton Wilson basically had Dyami Brown wrapped up, and like Dyami Brown was still pulling, so eventually he just yanked him up off the ground and dropped him on his head. And then they were talking some trash, and I went, you know what? It's a tough look to be talking trash after you get dropped on your head. So Peyton Wilson a winner, Dyami Brown a loser. Although Dyami Brown was running with the ones and picked up an early 4th down conversion, so He didn't have necessarily a bad game, just got suplexed, which is less fun. Winner. The NFC South other than the Saints, which would be obviously including the Carolina Panthers. The Saints have a quarterback issue. Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck combined stats didn't look awful. 22 of 33, 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But the further you dive, the worse it gets. A lost fumble, 5 sacks taken. Eye test was probably the worst of it all. There's some concern with the New Orleans Saints where other teams might be licking their chops as far as being in the division going, if we take care of business, it's 2 wins for us. And if you're the Panthers where like 7-8 wins feels like a really good season, you get a 4th of them just making a confused quarterback look confused.
Especially when you beat them last year.
Not the first one, but first one was horrendous.
Well, yeah, week 1 notwithstanding.
But yeah, you bounced back. Loser, and this one, it hurts. Like, not every loser is deserved. Sometimes you just lose. Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore is a fantastic reminder of how fragile it is to play in a league like the NFL where it's so darn physical. Last August in training camp, he was a member of the Falcons. He was carted off practice with a right knee injury. Spent the entire season injured reserve. This offseason, signs with the Vikings. Apparently, ton of work, trying to stay healthy. Shows up, great dude, just looking for an opportunity. First game back, carted off. Pretty significant left knee injury, according to ESPN. And he is expected, again, according to ESPN, to miss the entire season. A full calendar year of rehab gone in a blink. It's a physical league. It's just a good reminder. But gosh, that's got to be a loss for him. Tough. I've got a few more here. All right, I'll go one more winner, one more loser. Winner. Paramount Plus. UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championships, has agreed to a 7-year, $7.7 billion exclusive U.S. media rights deal with Paramount. I say that because in the whole streaming wars, Paramount's not at the top right now, right? Like, if no offense to them, right? If I've got to cut costs and I'm looking at my streaming subscriptions, Paramount's a good quick cut, right? Like, all right, well, they're gone. But now if you're a combat sports fan, the UFC's pretty darn popular. They move near the top of the list. You had to pay $7.7 billion over 7 years to get it, but there's probably something there. And then last one. Whoever votes on the Athletics quarterback tiers. This is one of those. There's certain articles I look forward to every year. The Athletic has a couple of them. They have the college football athletic freaks list and this quarterback tiers list. They get 50 coaches and executives to put all of the quarterbacks in the NFL into tiers. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, and on and on and on and on. You can go read it again. Check it out. I'm looking at the average tiers. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen were average. Their average tier was 1 point something. Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, 1.0, which means everybody put him number 1. Who's putting Lamar and Josh Allen on the second tier of quarterbacks? Who's doing that? Now, they were in the first tier on average, but if you watched last year's football and you came away with, well, I mean, Lamar and Josh Allen, they can't be in the top tier.
I don't know.
You don't have them in your top tier?
No, I'm just like, that's what those people who put them in the second tier are saying. I don't know.
Okay.
Like,
I thought you were saying you agree with them. We were about to have to shut stuff down.
No. Oh, gosh, they've only combined for the last 2 MVPs and put up really great stats, but
and like, we're number 1 and number 2 each of the last 2 years, really, in MVP voting for smart people. That's absurd. So now one of my favorite articles that I read every year, immediately from the jump, I'm like, well, now this loses all credibility. I haven't even gotten to tier 2, and already some of your voters have lost all credibility, and I don't know how I'm going to read the rest of this article in any kind of honest evaluation. So maybe I'm the loser for being real. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4 coming up next. We look at the Panthers preseason game 1 offense earlier. Let's look at the defense, where, again, there is one gigantic, glaring concern for the Carolina Panthers. Stick around.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going,
gone! Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Temperatures still on the cool side this afternoon with a high of 82. That's well below normal, but the clouds are keeping our temperatures down. We'll also have a good chance of showers and storms as the afternoon and evening wears on. 72 overnight tonight, and tomorrow more of the same, a little warmer with highs in the mid-80s, but a chance of late-day storms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 193 points to 43,982.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Here's how it goes, everybody. I said it earlier, but I'm going to stick to it. There's a lot you can't take from preseason football. A lot, okay? But I think reinforcing things you already knew or already thought is fair game, right? If you think a guy is really, really, really good, and then he looks really, really, really good in preseason, you can allow that to build on your opinion. Now, if you think a guy is really, really, really good and on like 2 plays in a preseason game he doesn't look great, I would withhold your – sounded like a motorcycle starting up. I would withhold your concern, right? At least make it happen a few preseason games in a row before you get crazy. But the former happened for me with the Carolina Panthers defense. The former happened for me. I'm going to read a tweet, which is always fun to say, right? Oh, everybody buckle up. I am going to read a tweet from a couple of days ago, weeks ago, whatever it is. On July 31st, so we're looking at like 12 days ago, I tweeted this out. I am registering an official worry about the Carolina Panthers defense. The lack of depth scares me. Name me one starter that can get hurt and it wouldn't absolutely terrify you. You can't. That was July 31st. And then we go into the first preseason game. And the first 2 drives for the Browns, punt and turnover on downs. No points allowed. Shedeur Sanders goes 3 of 7 for 30 yards. Again, 0 points allowed. All right. And that's, by the way, not even their like top defense, right? There were some of their top guys held out, but it was mostly the guys you'll be seeing on Sundays. The rest of the game, once they went to the depth, 30 unanswered points. Shedeur Sanders goes 11 of 19 from that point forward, 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Huntley comes in 6 of 8 for 51 yards and a touchdown. The depth terrifies me. And one injury here or there, maybe you can sustain it, right? Somebody like Corey Thornton, who looks like he's going to be a stud, steps up and makes some plays in the absence of J.C. Horn and a couple others. And it's like, all right, you got one. But then if you go to any of the other backups at the same time, or if, gosh forbid, you have to go to backups at multiple positions, it is a problem in a hurry. It is a problem in a hurry. Starters, I thought, equated okay, right? I don't think they were, lighting anyone's hair on fire, but I didn't think they had to. They did okay. Everyone outside of that group just left a lot to be desired as far as being able to get off the field. And one of the things, quotes that I use from my offensive coordinator in college all the time is hope is not a strategy, right? You want to be prepared for things. You don't want to hope that things happen. I don't know if there's anything the Panthers defense can do aside from hope that nobody gets hurt. Hope. Dave Canales was asked after the game what he thought of his first team defense. So again, we're talking starters here. Here's what Canales had to say.
I just saw some good physical play. I think they'd come up here and tell you they'd like to give up less on a couple of those runs. When we're sitting at 2nd and 6, on a 4-yard run, that's really not our standard and not what they want to do. But I love seeing the communication happen. I love seeing Corey Thornton show up like he's been, and these games, while every practice is so important and Fan Fest was a great opportunity to kind of play at this time under the lights and the joint practice. Once you get into a game, there are guys. I think it's probably one of my favorite things about being in the NFL is there are guys who may not show up in practice, but all of a sudden make plays in games. And there are guys that are making plays in practice and they kind of disappear. And to kind of get that part to reveal itself, we got a bunch of plays. We got a lot of information now coming out of this game. So. And it was good to just kind of see that first group get out there and play with each other really, for the first time in a game.
Yeah, I left less excited. I think the defense did nothing to make the starting defense did nothing to make me more panicky than I was going into the game. I thought the depth confirmed why I was panicky going into the game, and that's not great. That's not great at all, especially when the things that I am most terrified about, they didn't necessarily fix or improve upon. No turnovers forced. I'm very confident that the defense for the Panthers is not going to be some knockdown, drag-out, brick wall that nobody can gain yards on. They're not going to trot out there and go 3-and-outs a whole bunch. They're not talented enough in the secondary. They're not deep enough, as we just talked about. They're going to need some big plays, right? And their run defense will be fantastic. I have no doubt in my mind. If everybody stays healthy on that defensive line, they're going to have a really good run defense. And when another team is forced to chuck it around, they're going to have people that get their hands on the ball, or else they're just going to give up big plays. And when you're going up against a Browns unit, which again was backups, and in some cases third and fourth stringers pretty darn quick, they didn't get their hands on the ball. Punch it out, push it, pull it, do something. Sell out on a jumping of a route if you're in the secondary. Give me something. The fact that you left the game without any turnovers was something that, again, I'm not going to add to my panic about, but it reinforces something I was already worried about with the Panthers defense. And as they go into Houston and they go to the joint practices, I want to hear more about guys getting their hands on the ball, or else that concern will just continue to be reinforced. And it's not rocket science. Meaning, I don't think I'm breaking any kind of news or introducing any kind of sometimes I do think I'm like, you guys are not, I think about this differently. Get ready. No, everybody in football thinks this way. If you win the turnover battle, you are way more likely to win the game. And even if Bryce Young is very good at protecting the football, and if he's more like the second half of the year Bryce Young than first half of the year Bryce Young, if you're not darn near forcing any turnovers, you're going to lose more often than you win. You're going to lose more often than you win in the turnover battle, which means you'll lose more often than you win in real life. So the most... It's not even like the most concerning part, but it's the two things that I was most concerned about for the Panthers defense going into the game was their depth and their inability to get their hands on the ball. So what happened? As soon as their starters got off the field, they gave up 30 unanswered points, and they not once forced a turnover on defense. So I'm not creating any kind of new concerns, but you're darn right. Things that I was already paying attention to are now blinking. They are. Now, because of that, I do think you can look at somebody like Corey Thornton and say, all right, you might have something there. You might have something there, right? Rookie out of Louisville, unheralded player. Here's Dave Canales giving praise to the young cornerback.
He puts himself in good position, whether it's a tackle or whether it's Cooley's doing a great job, teaching him technique, footwork, and all that. He's taking the coaching. He's a natural football player, and then he shows up physical in those moments, and so that was really exciting to see.
But at the same time, as he played very well and was talked about highly on the broadcast, Shamar Bartholomew, another depth corner, has been what, if you read like the winners and losers articles coming out of the first 13 days of training camp, he's on the other side of it. So, you get a 25-year-old, 6'1", 200-pound corner who's maybe proving that he's not living up to the potential you hoped for when you claimed him off waivers last year. And then you get a 24-year-old, 6'1", 195-pound corner showing that he's more than an undrafted free agent that you brought him in as. And it's like, all right, we're back to even. We're back to even. I'm fairly confident the offense is going to be significantly better than it was last year for the Carolina Panthers. I haven't found many reasons to think that the defense will be any better. Because, they've reinforced even further the trenches, the up front, the defensive line for stopping the run. But at what cost? I think their linebackers have taken a step back. I think their secondary, I don't even know if it's taken a step back, but there's two glaring holes there. It's a tough spot to be. I just need him to be the 10th worst or better.
Yeah, 22nd ranked defense
That's
in the league.
all I'm doing.
You got to hope Derek Brown coming back.
Derek Brown's very good. I don't know how, he's not a pass rusher. I mean, I hope he can get 5 sacks this year, which would nearly double his career high of 3. I hope that can happen. But he's still not somebody that's going to make, the secondary's job super easy because he's always in the back of the mind
Yeah.
of the quarterback.
Well, hopefully, like a Trevon Moehrig, like he can be a good pickup and become an impact player in that secondary. Just someone to help out J.C. Horn, and he continues to develop and make those steps as a great corner in the league as well. But yeah, the depth it's questionable. It's definitely a fair assessment, I would say.
The Moehrig Horn problem is the same, which is like if on offense, if you have one good receiver or two good receivers, you can make sure they impact the game. On defense, if you have one good safety and one good corner, the other team can just choose not to go after them, right? They're just going to go after the other corner and the other safety all day unless they absolutely have to go the opposite, especially when J.C. Horn, at least up to this point, hasn't really been traveling with the other team's best receiver. So it's like, all right, wherever J.C. Horn lines up, we're going to send Chris Olave to the other side, or Mike Evans, or whoever you think are the best receivers on the other teams, to the other side, and they'll operate there. So, Moehrig might be a monster. I actually think he's a very, very good physical safety. If Nick Scott is the other safety, I'm not sure we're going to get to see Moehrig make a ton of plays. Unless he's chasing things down and making tackles in the run game 7 yards downfield. You don't want your safety leading you in tackles. I'm worried about the defense. That's what this all boils down to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm also worried about my ability to win a ladder challenge. We'll see how it went. Coming up next.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. It's that time of year. At least it's approaching. The cooler air is on its way. The time to get out on the motorcycle is right where it needs to be. But guess what? You have to make sure you do all the right things even before you get on the bike as a motorcycle rider. One of the best things that you could do for yourself as a motorcycle rider is actually take care of your bike the right way. And one of the biggest things you can do to take care of your bike is actually washing your bike. Washing your bike helps get the gunk off the brakes, gets the gunk off the chain, get all the dirt and everything out of your bike. Make sure your bike is in proper working order. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance companies. Insurance companies want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
You've heard the perfect scores on air. We're bringing our champions to the stage. It's our second annual Numbers Game Live show, presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Perfect players will compete on August 21st at the fabulous Hilton Raleigh North Hills. Watch on YouTube as we crown a Numbers Game champ. Special thanks to On-Site AV, a full-service event production company, for lighting up Numbers Game Live.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage and do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 convenient locations. So, you coming? Get all the perks with the PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Offer ends August 14th.
See Club for details.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country. Here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and a $6 Bloody Mary on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, get it delivered. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man. Now I want wings.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is back, everybody. Second annual Numbers Game Live. Presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Takes place Thursday, August 21st. That's just 10 days from now, which means all of the perfect players, the players that have scored a perfect score in the numbers game over the last year that have already been invited to the event, better be working on it. I was thinking, by the way, it'll all take place Hilton, Raleigh, North Hills, a fabulous hotel for all your needs, and all of you can watch along as we crown our champion live through brutal numbers game competition live on YouTube. So subscribe to our YouTube now, 99.9 The Fan. A ton of content going out there, but also our live stream of the Numbers Game Live, August 21st. Special thanks to On-Site AV, a full-service event production company, for supplying the sights and sounds of Numbers Game Live, August 21st. I was thinking, if you were in the Numbers Game Live, meaning you had already been a perfect scorer and you've already RSVP'd that you're in and you're getting ready, how would you practice? Aside from just making sure you're listening at 5:30 every day and playing along, how would you brush up? I came up with two ideas. One, play video games, right? Because then you just got to play and look at rosters and do all that sort of thing. The other was, if you go to either you have like a sports card collection or you go to a sports card shop and you just kind of flip through and try to get a mind's eye for all players throughout different eras. I don't know if that works, but it's also, again, this is how my brain works. Because I'm so competitive, I would 100% be doing this if I were in it. I would be trying to find ways to spark my interest. But then you hear, ESPN used to have the spelling bee. I don't know if they still do.
Pretty sure they still do.
You can watch it, and it turns out they really do study that way. They just grab a dictionary and flip to a page and just read them, or they have a friend just grab an encyclopedia, flip to a page, and say, "What do we do here?" That's I guess the only way to practice. Just grab a trading card out of a stack and go, Fred Taylor, Jacksonville Jaguars, 28. I guess it's the only way to do it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Also, only one way to play the ladder challenge. That's not true. We actually.
Oh my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken, smack dab in half.
There's actually more than one way to play the ladder challenge, because when Dennis isn't here, we play it differently than when Dennis is here producing the show. When we have a fill-in like Max producing the show, it is a 1 day at a time, mano y mano, 3 bets, $10 each bet. Whoever has the most money the next day is the winner. I assume, because I actually ended up only losing $9.50. I had one winning bet, Shedeur Sanders throw at least one touchdown in the preseason game. My other two were big fat losses. I assume you did better than that, Max?
Yeah, you could say I did. I had Nick Kurtz to hit a home run, which lost. Reds and Tigers parlay, which lost. But I had Justin Rose to win the FedEx St. Jude Championship at plus 2,000, which turns my $10 into $210.
So 180 over. That's a nice hit.
I actually wagered on this, but I cashed out because he was down with like three holes left, and I thought Tommy Fleetwood would actually win. That's on me.
Scared money
but
don't make no money.
I'll still take the credit for the correct pick.
I do want to register one complaint. I had Tarek Skubal to throw 10 or more strikeouts versus the Angels. He finished with 6. I blame the ump. There's some viral clips of Skubal being very unhappy with the ump. That's bleeping awful over and over again. So, I think he's that mental anguish, pain and suffering, plus the actual strikes that were taken away. I think it could have been a hit. Wouldn't have changed anything, but I want to register that complaint with Major League Baseball. Same deal today. We have 3 bets, $10 each bet. Whoever has the most money tomorrow is the winner. I'm looking to fight back against Max, but as the winner, Max, you do get to go first. So what's your first bet?
I'm going to keep it pretty simple here. Garrett Crochet on the bump for the Red Sox tonight. I believe still the AL strikeout leader this season. Over 7.5 strikeouts for Crochet tonight is plus 110. So $10 winning bet would return $21.
I had a feeling you might go in this direction, and I had a feeling I was going to be trying to one-up you. I have Garrett Crochet, 9 or more strikeouts, plus 195. I thought you might have teased it up to 8, so I went up to 9. $10 into $29.50 with just the hope that he doesn't have 7 or 8 strikeouts now. I'm fine with 6 or less because that's a wash.
I need 8. It's over 7.5. So
you
I
got
need
over
8.
7. Okay, I was thinking blank or more. So as long as he doesn't have exactly 8, I'm good. All right, I read the field correctly then. A little bit more payout. So if it's 7 or less, it's a wash. If it's 9 or more, I get the win. I just need to hope for you don't thread that needle. Next pick for you.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll stay on the diamond here. I am going to back the hottest team in baseball right now, the Milwaukee Brewers. They are taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. I will take them on the run line, minus 1.5. That is plus 105. So $10. Winning bet would be $20.50.
All right, I'm on a weird Darvish trip recently in gambling, and I've done fairly well with it. For those of you that listen every day, first of all, you're the MVP. Second of all, you may remember a couple of weeks ago I went down a weird rabbit hole with something called the Koshien, which is a gigantic high school baseball tournament in Japan where if you have a stud pitcher, you throw them every game. It could be six games in 5 days, one pitcher. They throw like 700 pitches. Except for Darvish, whose dad was all in on the don't kill his arm movement, so he only threw like 530 pitches in 5 days. That's it, which is absurd, and it's still, I think, a little dangerous. But since then, I've just been betting over in Darvish strikeouts anytime I notice, and it's been very lucrative for me. So I'm going Darvish, 6 or more strikeouts. Versus the Giants tonight for the Padres. It's plus 280, which would turn my $10 into 38. So give me Darvish, 6 or more strikeouts, all because they saved his arm and only had him throw 500 and some odd pitches over 5 days when he was like 17 years old.
It's good load management right there.
Daisuke threw like 700 and something pitches his last year of high school.
I love Daisuke Matsuzaka.
In 5 games. Or 5 days, sorry. Who knows how many games?
I saw him play in Winston-Salem once on a rehab stint.
Masahiro Tanaka threw like 700 pitches. And if you're such a baller, and they I forget what it's called. There's a Japanese word for it that essentially means monster, and it's like a title that is bestowed upon you if you are a beast in this tournament. And Darvish didn't get it because he didn't pitch enough.
Didn't throw it. He should have thrown 600 instead of 530 something.
It's absurd.
He just doesn't love the game. It's disappointing.
That's kind of how they treat it. Like if you're a 17-year-old and you tell them like your elbow hurts, they're like, shame,
all right,
shame upon you.
You can only throw 85 pitches today instead of 100. How about
Look
that?
it up. It's called the Koshien. I went down a weird rabbit hole. I can send you an article, Max.
Okay, it does sound interesting.
It's wild. What's your third bet?
I'm kind of cheating it here because the next show I will be with you is on Thursday, or I think I'll be with Dennis actually. So it's going to be even further in the future, so this will work perfectly then. I am going to go with Xander Schauffele to be the first-round leader at the BMW Championship.
Oh, you're really stretching it.
Yeah, first-round tees off on Thursday. That is plus 2,200. Based off of Data Golf, their course fit tool, he's one of the 5 best course fits on tour.
The course horse?
For Caves Valley, where this course or where this tournament's being played. And he's on a pretty decent form last second half of the season. Didn't have a great tournament last week, but was like T22 or something, but had a couple top 10s right before that. So, and he's been known every now and again to throw out a super low round. He did it in the U.S. Open a couple years ago, shot a 62 in the first round. So I'll go Schauffele first round leader at plus 2,200. See if I can stay hot on the golf course.
I went WNBA because I didn't know we could go all the way to Thursday.
Well, that was the thing. Like I was looking around, I was like, there's some of these tennis matches that I've been watching, but like the odds aren't speaking to me. And other than that, it's just baseball and WNBA, and I'm not good at betting either of those. So
the only WNBA game I saw that was playing tonight was the Golden State Valkyries against the Connecticut Sun. After some poking around, I have one thing that I feel good about predicting in this game. Janelle Salon,
that's Tijan Salon's sister.
Okay, there you go. I have her in a matchup bet getting more rebounds than Tina Charles of the Connecticut Sun. Salon plays for the Valkyries. It's plus 170. And here's all my justification. Tina Charles was in college when I was in college. She's 36 years old. She is in her 10th NBA season. She took a year off in 2023 before coming back. She had 4 seasons with UConn. She is a monster, but she's 36 years old. And the Connecticut Sun played last night at 9 o'clock Eastern in Vegas, and they play tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern, in the Bay Area. They're from Connecticut. So this is a long West Coast road trip, back-to-back nights, travel in between for a 36-year-old who's, quite frankly, I'm 34, right? Getting out of bed doesn't, your back cracks a little bit more. Salon, on the other hand, is 23, hasn't played since Saturday. Rebounds are all effort and springiness and second jump. I want the youngster to get more rebounds than the old wily veteran. Plus 170, or give me plus money on that?
I don't hate that at all. I do want to note that game the Sun played last night in Vegas for the Aces. Asia Wilson had 32 points and 20 rebounds last night.
And that was going up against Tina Charles, who obviously was chasing her around, even more tiring. I didn't know that, but that fits into the narrative. So there you go. We'll see who has more, I guess, on Friday when those bets come to a close. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the ladder challenge. We have to talk about now the talking point out of the Carolina Panthers preseason game. We've been keeping it to football for the most part today. Position battles. By the way, Austin Corbett has been named the starting center for week 1 for the Carolina Panthers, beating out Cade Mays in what was a close position battle. Football production. I really like what you saw out of Teteroa McMillan and Bryce Young as far as chemistry goes. I think they'll get better, but it's good. And then there's the fight element. Xavier Legette, 3-piece combo. Little bink, bink, bink. Hitting up Jenkins from the Cleveland Browns. We're going to talk about the nuance of it, right? And there's you can like it, you can not like it, you can think it's the dumbest thing in the world, you can think it's fight, right? Like you can like a grit element. There's a bunch of different ways you can look at it. I hope there is one thing that we can all agree on with 100% certainty. I hope there will be no conflicts, no arguments against what I am going to say next. It is dumb to punch someone in the head if they are wearing a football helmet. I've worn a football helmet, and guess what? It doesn't hurt to get punched in the head when you're wearing a football helmet. He gave him a 3-piece combo to the helmet, and face mask. That doesn't hurt. You know what it does hurt? Potentially your hand. If you're going to punch somebody, there's a lot of open spaces where they aren't protected. Right? Anywhere but the shoulders and the head. Punch them in the stomach. Body blows. If you want to impact the most pain without injuring your hand. So at the very least, even if you believe fighting is a necessity, like you're a hockey fan and you think sometimes the group just needs to be ignited, even if you think that, let's all agree, you don't punch the metal part, like you don't punch the face mask. All right, now we can have a real conversation about it. Xavier Legette, what was this? This was Saturday?
No, this was today.
Oh, this was earlier today, actually. Spoke to the media. I knew it wasn't game day. Earlier today, he talked about owing the fans an apology.
Oh, man, it was just something that I shouldn't have did, and that ain't supposed to happen in a football game, so I felt like I owed the fans an apology.
He tweeted out an apology pretty much, was it even before the game was over? I saw it shortly after the game ended. He tweeted out an apology. Dave Canales talked about the response from Xavier Legette when they got back on the practice field. So ejected early in the game, has to kind of wear that one. He gets a chance to go back out of practice. Here's Dave Canales' response to Xavier Legette's response.
He's got fresh legs. I think he only played, that drive, and so of all the guys, probably the freshest coming out there. And but he bounced back quickly. We had a great conversation afterwards. He knows, he wasn't defensive about it. He was like, I got to be better, and kind of just moved on, and he was ready to work today.
Now we can get into the nuance of it. Now we can get into, this is a conversation that I think is fair. Is there a situation where that response is warranted? First of all, competitively, it is almost always bad. Okay? Competitively, just taking one of your starting wide receivers and ejecting them from a game early is almost always bad. Now, there is a preseason element hanging over it of this game really doesn't matter, so does it matter as much losing? Maybe not. Also, there's this weird thing hanging over the Panthers of, I think it was a couple years ago, there was a late hit on Bryce Young, and nobody came to his defense. Everybody just kind of watched, and that rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way as far as you got to protect your guy, kind of a hockey mentality. If your leading scorer gets cheap shot, right, you don't want the leading scorer to have to settle it themselves. Somebody else has to come around and finish that. So without that happening, you get the idea that if somebody needs defending, Xavier Legette's about that life right now. Like, you get the feeling that if somebody who he is loyal to needs a little bit of backup, he's about that life. So maybe that's a statement trying to be made. I would argue there was more bad than good to this one. It's a high threshold for me. And what I mean by that is there is a point where if your team is so flat, if your team is so lethargic, if your team is so sleepwalking through something, maybe you need to ruffle some feathers and get it started. But that would say, like, that ignition, that moment of buzz would give you so much of an advantage that it makes sense to have one of your starting wide receivers leave. The other thing I'll say is this. In football, there's almost always a way to get your get back between the whistles. I've told this story a bunch, but it's one of my favorite stories when it comes to my playing career. Is there's this guy, Gino Gradkowski, on my team. His rookie year, he won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. He actually was on the Panthers for a hot second. Played for the Broncos. He was an offensive lineman. One of the things he did, and he, by the way, we were playing FCS football, and this dude, he could have been starting at center in the NFL when he was playing with us. So maybe a little, big fish, small pond going on here. But if there was ever a questionable hit on me as a quarterback, he would get there, shove the guy, just like a one hand, not looking at him, so the ref would give him a warning and nothing serious. And as he was helping me up, he would just say, "What number?" And that was basically me ordering a hit, right? That was me going, I look around, just pick a guy I don't like, 54. It was 54. It was 46, right? Whoever hit me late, I would tell him. And then it became like watching I don't even know, like a car chase in a movie when we were watching film. Because I wouldn't see it, but I would know on one of the next 5 or 10 plays, Gino was going to catch that guy. And it was going to be within the whistle. It was going to be when he was working, if it was a linebacker, working to the next line. If it was when he was pulling, it was going to be all legal, but that dude was going to end up on his back. And Gino would have a couple things to say for him. That's why football is different than baseball, you got to charge the mound, or there's a few things, like basketball, occasionally you got to get a tech, right, just to ignite everything. And I'm going, I don't think so. In football, it's such a physical sport, you can get your get back. If Xavier Legette didn't like Jenkins grabbing his face mask, wait for the next run play and go decleat him. You run a 4.39 and you're 200 and something pounds. I'm not saying go out like a wuss. I'm not saying get pushed around. I'm not saying, you have to just be okay with everybody grabbing your face mask. I'm saying you're in the perfect opportunity to settle it. And then don't punch the face mask, right? If you're breaking your hand, that becomes the ultimate dumb move. You're lucky you escaped it without any kind of injuries. In the scheme of things, it's a preseason game. Actually, you know what? Side note. Do you know what's the biggest risk for somebody like Xavier Legette? aside from injury, exactly what happening, which is you're in the starting lineup right now. You're in the top. You're in three wide receiver sets. You're in there. It's Tetairoa McMillan, it's Adam Thielen, and it's Xavier Legette. But guess what? You got ejected, and Jalen Coker came in, and Jalen Coker looked great. Jalen Coker made an unbelievable catch on a deep ball, absorbing some contact before it got there. There's the concern for Xavier Legette. Whatever grip you had on your starting spot is looser now because when you were out, because you were ejected, because you got into the fight after the whistle and you threw the punches and all that, the other guy came in and played better. I tweeted it out watching the game. I said, Jalen Coker has to play. He has to play. And if I'm looking at the starting lineup, the one that gets knocked out is Xavier Legette. We got to have that conversation. If Jalen Coker didn't get in the game till the starters were out because Xavier Legette was in there, I wouldn't be saying that. It's like, I mean, it's a Wally Pipp situation, only it's 100% avoidable. Injuries are out of your control. Does the Wally Pipp reference still, does everybody still get that? Do you get it, Max? Do you understand? Oh, come on, man. Who are your old heads? We got to get you some sports education. So Wally Pipp was starting for the Yankees, and he got hurt, and Lou Gehrig took over, and he didn't miss another game for like 1,400 games or however long the Iron Man streak was. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it was super long. And the lesson is, like, if you give somebody an opportunity, they just might take it. You might just have Lou Gehrig behind you. I'm not saying Jalen Coker's Lou Gehrig, but all he has to be is better than Xavier Legette, and suddenly Xavier Legette's on the bench. I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's like a cardinal sin. I don't think you never entertain Xavier Legette as a player in your core ever again. But I do think it was dumb. And it was exceptionally dumb to punch someone in the head wearing a football helmet.
It's not encouraging, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It could have been worse, I'm sure.
Could have been injury. Could have made it a lot worse. Other than that, I don't know if it could have gone worse for him because Jalen Coker really did look good. And that's
the time to bust it out is in the preseason and not in week 1. I'll say that.
Except, and this happened with Steve Smith a bunch, Steve Smith Sr. This happened with certain players. As soon as you show that you're the guy that snaps, every defensive back is now going to be chirping in your ear. They're going to be giving you one more shove after the whistle. That now, like you're known, right? That's part of the scouting report is you can get under his skin. And that's not the part of the scouting report you want to be on. It's just going to be annoying is what it's going to be. Even if you control your emotions, the guys are just going to be poking at you all the time. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of Wally Pipp, there's some serious injury news out of UNC football. What starter went down? You'll have to stick around to find out. Right now, however, you can hear all about Maynard Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. It wasn't even super hot this weekend. It was actually, like, compared to what it was a couple weeks ago, like relatively mild. But I was still out doing the yard, mowing the lawn, doing all that sort of stuff. There's this big, I don't even know, it's some spiky plant at the end of my driveway I'm trying to rip out. And I'll tell you right now, that air conditioning, after a couple hours out there sweating like crazy, pretty darn awesome. Felt pretty darn good. And if you don't have that, or if you're expecting that, right? You left the air conditioner on, you went out to the yard, you walk in and you get hit by warm air. Goodness gracious, that would be a bummer. But I know what my next move would be. Boop, 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 boop. Calling up Maynard Service Company. 24/7 service all across the triangle. And also maintenance on your cooling system to try to get ahead of things like that so it doesn't break and you don't get met with hot air when you walk inside, hoping for a cool, refreshing break. And the same is true for your heating in the winter. The same is true for your plumbing. If you're going to have a bunch of people come over, maybe watch some football, right? When the games are back on, you're going to have 30 people in your house because you got the biggest TV. It's going to put a little extra strain on your plumbing. Problems occur. Manor Service Company is the place you want to call. Same is true with any electrical problems, that is. The number to call is 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or you can visit them online at manorservices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. I mentioned coming up next, there's an injury to the UNC football team. We'll break it down coming up. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The latest Browns hope is Shador. Before then, it was Baker Mayfield, it was Johnny Manziel. At the time they were with the Cleveland Browns, I think neither of them were ready for the stardom and the roller coaster ride that being the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns comes with the way that this guy is.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both.
Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Why world-class? Because it has a crisp and superior taste. That's world-class. It has only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. That's very world-class. So, if I'm seen drinking it, by association, am I world-class? Oh yeah, Heineken Silver, world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I am nearly down the rabbit hole again of the Koshien, the ridiculous Japanese high school baseball tournament. For those of you that love sports, if you're just looking for a wild story, I'm telling you, they say it is basically if the Olympics and the Super Bowl were combined in American culture, that is what this high school baseball tournament would be. Over 50% of the televisions when this thing is going on in the country are tuned into the high school baseball tournament. It's being rocked right now. The event's going on as we speak, and a high school team had to pull out of the popular competition after outcry over reports that some of its members had bullied a junior player. That, according to The Guardian. This is just so you know, obscure, weird sports stories like this this is like my Real Housewives of something or another. This is my like the Bachelor, my whatever. This is my Big Brother. I'm in now. I want to know about this team. I want to know what's going on. I want to know how it affects the brackets. Did they have a pitcher that was going to throw 600 pitches in 5 days? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's not what we're actually talking about now, though. What we're actually talking about now is, I mean, nobody knows more than Bill Belichick that injuries are a part of the game, right? He's been around it longer than darn near anybody, right? Going back to his days as a assistant way long ago. It's probably like 4.5 decades or something that Bill Belichick's been, maybe longer, 50 years perhaps. He's been in football in some capacity. Still don't want it. You still don't want the well-placed injuries. That's the one that's happening here. Inside Carolina is reporting that Austin Blaske has been lost for upwards of 2 months due to a non-contact foot injury suffered in training camp, according to multiple sources that told Inside Carolina yesterday. Their sources said the foot is broken and the 6-year senior is expected to miss the Tar Heels opening games, though Blaske and the team are awaiting further evaluation and thus a full diagnosis. Again, all that reporting Inside Carolina hat tip. Here's the part that frustrates me. As a former athlete, even this would frustrate me at the time. Right? There are different injuries. And what I mean by that is you can't fight injuries as a whole, but you can hope they don't hit you in the parts that hurt. I vividly remember we were going into a game in my college career, University of Delaware, and Paul Warlow was hurt. Paul Warlow ended up leading the Falcons in tackles 3 consecutive years. Okay? This is one of our dudes. Right? Imagine if you're leading the Falcons in tackles, you were probably leading the University of Delaware in tackles. And he was hurt. And it was a big story going on. And I was talking to the media, and one of the writers that was talking to me basically said, like, you play football, injuries are a part of the game. You can't use the Paul Warlow injury as anything serious. And, of course, I had to respond with coach speak. I had to say, oh, you're exactly right. And, oh, yeah, every team is injured at this point in the season. Nobody is 100%. In my head, I'm going like, no offense, I would trade like 3 other people for Paul. Right? You can't avoid injuries, but you can get lucky with which players get hurt. Right? We got 10 injuries on the team. Oh, no, but you know what? They're all guys that had like qualified backups, or maybe some of them were backups themselves, or they don't play a position of great need in your scheme, whatever it is. Meanwhile, hey, we got 3 injuries, but they're to the dude we can't replace on offense, the dude we can't replace on defense, and the quarterback. It's like, you know what? I think we could have avoided that one. I think it's possible to expect all 3 of those not to happen at the same time. For UNC, Austin Blaske is kind of that. There's a whole bunch of positions, I believe, for UNC that are still in competitions, right? You don't know who's going to start. I think the defense is loaded with them. And because of that, you got multiple guys that are maybe ready, and if one of them got hurt, it would stink. But you have another guy that was in the competition anyway, ready to roll. Blaske is good. And remember how, and by the way, like Tar Heel fans, if now you're saying like, oh, who cares? He's not that dude. I remember the excitement when Blaske withdrew his name from the portal. He and Aiden Banfield, who by my account is still healthy on the offensive line, but 2 guys hit the portal and then withdrew their name to come back, and there was jubilation. And I think that's correct, right? Because when you are installing a new offensive scheme, you want veterans. You want guys that have been around, guys that'll be calm out there and can help everybody else get in the right set. So this one stings. And matter of fact, it's like the other part is true as well. Again, according to Inside Carolina, been lost for upwards of 2 months. I have another part of the article here from Inside Carolina. An early outlook in terms of the recovery timeline, sources said, would have Blaske aiming to return for UNC's ACC League opener on October 4th against Clemson. Missing like 5 or 6 games, whatever that ended up being, 4 games. If those were from like week 8 to 12, I don't think it would be as big a difference or as big a deal, right? Because then other guys would have been in the mix, but missing one of your veteran leaders on a new offense for the first part of the season is, again, you're not going to avoid injuries in total, but you can hope they don't hit you in the jugular. Nah, jugular's bad analogy here, because I don't think this is a death blow by any stretch, but this hurts. This hurts. I don't care how complete you think your team is. Every team has a couple guys you can't replace. Every team has a couple guys where you're like, you know what, if that guy goes down, we're going to lower our ceiling a bit. Could be positional. Could be positional. Could be a skill set, right? And there's nothing you can do about that. I was just listening to a podcast today where somebody was talking about the Dolphins offense of 3 years ago. I don't know why they were talking about the Dolphins. That's going to frustrate me. But they were like, they didn't have a Tyreek Hill on ice waiting in case Tyreek Hill got hurt. It's like, oh, you know what? If Tyreek Hill gets hurt, we got this other guy that's unbelievably fast and talented, and he'll step into the Tyreek Hill role. It was if Tyreek Hill's hurt, the Tyreek Hill role doesn't exist. Like, that's one way a player could be irreplaceable. Another is you're on a new offense, you're a 6-year senior, you're a center, which is one of the most intellectually demanding positions on an offense. Communication is wildly important. Chemistry with both the other offensive lineman and your quarterback become wildly important. And if all of that chemistry is built up with one guy and that player goes down, you don't have to run a 4-2 whatever like Tyreek Hill to be very difficult to replace. So UNC and Bill Belichick and Freddie Kitchens on the offense and whoever else is in their brain trust, well, first challenge could be dealt to you already. And then on top of that, and Bill Belichick has talked about this, he doesn't have preseason games. There are no scrimmages. So you can't even get whoever's next up a couple game reps. The best you can do is like good on good, 11 on 11 on a practice field somewhere, and you can't simulate game speed. So, big picture, what does this mean? I did this with Duke basketball this year, and I'm going to do this with UNC this year on the football field. Don't let me. I'm looking to all of you, which, by the way, I have a bone to pick with all of you in a second. Don't let me bail on UNC after 3 or 4 games. Right? I did this with Duke basketball because they were so young, and they were dealing with some injuries in the offseason and some guys coming back and all of these things. And then I looked at their schedule, Duke basketball, and they played like, I don't know, 4 of the top 10 teams in the league in the first 6 games, or in the country in the first 10 games. I forget what it was. And basically I just told all of you, don't let me bail on Duke basketball because they were my preseason pick to win it all. If they start like 3-3, I almost expect them to start like 3-3 because of all the challenges they had early on. Don't let me bail on UNC football after the first month of the season, because I think there's a lot of reasons that they should be much worse the first month than they will be at any other point in the season. And if you add this Blaske injury to it, it's just another reason. Learning a new system, new players, new everything. How does Coach Belichick run game day? How does like all of it is just so new that I think there's going to be an on-ramp. And then on top of that, mix in a well-placed injury or two. Don't let me bail on them through the first month. If they're 2-2, something, or 3-2, I don't know what their schedule looks like off the top of my head. I know they start with TCU and then they get a pretty likely win the next week. But if they don't look good through the first month and I start going, oh, this team isn't what we thought it was going to be, I want somebody to text in or call in or Twitter in saying, no, I'm not going to let you do that.
To be fair, like, what do we even really think it is going to be for us to be able to say it's not what we thought it was going to be? Like, the whole thing we've said is, like, we don't really know what we're going to get. Like, I really wouldn't be that surprised if they were another 6-6 kind of mid-tier quality team like that this first year at least.
Bowl eligibility is kind of the floor. If I start saying they're not going to be bowl eligible after the first month, that means I've taken it too far. If I say they're going to win 8 games or something, you let me live. But if I'm starting to throw out like 4 wins as a possible 5 wins, then it becomes an issue. Secondly, while I was doing yard work over the weekend, I did a little self-scouting. Threw a couple of our shows on in the headset and the old ear pods so I could listen and see what we do well and what we need to get to work on the show. Is nobody going to tell me that when I meant Brenton Strange, I said Evan Ingram talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars offense? Y'all are supposed to be my checks and balances. Nobody wrote in and said Evan Ingram plays for the Broncos now. I don't like being wrong on that kind of stuff, and I know I wasn't thinking he would, but it flowed, right? When you start talking about Jacksonville's offense, it just made sense to say Evan Ingram. Brenton Strange, who actually has been playing really well in practice, is what I was talking about. And nobody corrected me. That's on all of you. Don't just sit there and go, oh, he's wrong. Get it to us. Tweet it at me, at Donnelly Sports when I'm wrong. I want that. Need y'all to be my safety net here, so I'm not passing along bad information just with a slip of the like a typo of the mouth. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting five coming up next, and we look at the preseason AP Top 25, which was released earlier today, the inaugural AP Top 25 for college football. Stick around.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Guys, if you struggle with your weight, much like I have, or maybe bounce from one fad diet to the next, you need to listen to this. I can proudly say I've lost over 20 pounds in just over 2 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Actually down 23 pounds, and that's just the start. The program helps you reset your metabolism naturally. No steroids, no shots, no HGH, just your body losing a half pound to a pound per day and doing it in a way where you can maintain that goal weight. It's frustrating when you feel like you're doing the right thing with zero results. Trust me, I've been there. But this is the lightest I have truly been in years. My clothes fit better, I have more energy when I'm active and playing sports, and I'm sleeping way better as well. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, 919-897-7506. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Adam Gold Show.
So I hear Bill Belichick's non-committal about a starting quarterback for the TCU game. First, that's on brand for Bill. He's not going to give you what you want to hear. He's going to play everything close to the vest. But let's be honest here. They brought Gio Lopez here for a reason. If he's not the quarterback on Labor Day, I think that's a problem. Max Johnson's nice, but he's not it. It's got to be Lopez.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We have showers and storms in the forecast early this evening. Mostly cloudy overnight, 72 the low. Mostly cloudy for your Tuesday. Showers and storms around. In fact, some could be around during the morning commute. Tomorrow's high, 85.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones down 200 points to 43,975.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. And as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The AP. What was that, Max?
It's a little SpongeBob clip to bring in the top 25.
All right. I don't hate it. AP Top 25 came out today, the preseason AP Top 25 for college football, the first one of the year. Until the college football playoff rankings come out into the season, this is the most important poll, right? Coaches poll is nice. The individual publications having their votes is dandy. This one is the one that matters the most. Few observations. Texas is number 1. This is the first time Texas has ever been number 1 in the AP poll to start the season, preseason AP poll. That's absurd to me. How? With that brand, like not even during like the decades prior heyday, like no Vince Young team was ever number 1. No Ricky Williams team was ever number 1. But it is also just 5 points, not 5 votes, 5 points separates Texas and Penn State, who's number 2. Closest preseason AP poll since 1998. That's pretty crazy. Clemson, higher than I thought. It seems like most rankings have Clemson kind of settled into like 6th or 7th. They're 4th. So the ACC getting a little bit more respect. I did look at a bunch of the voters. Reese Davis, ESPN, has Clemson number 1. So there's 4 first-place votes for Clemson. That's healthy.
I mean, Clemson, they're going to be, I think they're going to be really good this year.
They're going to be really ridiculously talented. They got rid of this reputation for a while. I think they have to worry about Clemsoning. You probably don't even know what that is, do you?
No, I do know what Clemsoning is.
Okay.
Along with the NC State stuff.
Yeah, similar. Clemson, they dodged that for a while. They started winning national championships, but it does seem like that's almost there again, right? They kind of Clemsoned last year where they got smoked by, Georgia to start, and then they were one of the best teams in the country from that point forward, but nobody could shake that one loss. They're really, really talented. I still think they could drop a really dumb one in the middle of their schedule, and then that just ends up eating away at the ACC. Other ACC teams in there, Miami 10th. I mean, I've never seen a team more universally exactly 10th. They're just always 10th. Not 11th, not 9th. 10th. 16th, SMU. That's kind of par for the course as well. And then that's it for the ACC in the top 25. Max did bring it up earlier, but Louisville is 4th, also receiving votes. Georgia Tech, 6th team off the list. So whatever that is, 31st in votes. Also receiving votes. You can go all the way down to Duke, also receiving votes. Oh, Florida State just before them, so they're 40th and 41st in votes. Pittsburgh, even beyond that, they're like 45th roughly. So the ACC, room for improvement is what we'll call it. Texas all the way at the top. That Arch Manning hype. I mean, what does he have to do? 9 touchdowns a game to live up to how good people think he's going to be? Also, I'm just going to say this. We'll talk about it as the reactions to kind of NFL weekend goes on. That Ohio State team's picked 3rd. They lost some talent now. It seemed like everyone that made big plays this weekend was like, of course, fresh off of that national championship run for Ohio State is Travion Henderson, 100-yard kick return. Emeka Egbuka, contested catch. Lathan Ransom with a bunch of tackles for the Panthers. Like, it was just, goodness gracious. Jack Sawyer with a hustle play to make a tackle off of somebody stepping up and running. It was Ohio State lost some dogs.
And they still have probably 2 or 3 of the top 10 players in the country. Probably 2 of the top 5 in Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs.
Yep.
Still going to be pretty good.
It still will be, but, I mean, So does Clemson. So does Texas. So does Penn State.
Gosh, that Ohio State-Texas game week 1 is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, 1 versus 3. Yeah, and the crazy part is that, like, one of them will win, one of them will lose. They'll probably go to 1 and 2 because they're just, those brands get so much benefit of the doubt. Oh, we lost, but it was close, so put us in second. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's starting 5. Number 5. Let's jump to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
We got some network news. I don't know. What is it about this time of year? Guys getting ready for football season. All the Fox, the CBS, the NFL networks, the ESPNs, everybody's making their moves now. We have 2 pieces of news. We'll start with ESPN and Fox have announced that, I believe beginning in October, you will be able to get their streaming services combined for one price. Now, if you remember, ESPN, just, what was it, last week, announced that in a partnership deal where the NFL gets 10% of ESPN, they acquired the NFL Network, Red Zone, they acquired more NFL games. So in the last 2 weeks, you've learned that you can get NFL Network, ESPN, and Fox all under one streaming service beginning in a couple months. You know what's happening, right? We get a couple more streaming services. We just have cable. Get a couple.
Fine by me. I love cable.
Get a couple more to agree to join in, and it's like, you know what? Could you guys just assemble yourselves in like numbered order, and then made it so I could just click up or down to switch between the two of you? That'd be great. It's going to be 2003 in no time around here. It is crazy. ESPN and Fox, you can buy them for one price, which I guess I can go and find the notes I took. Jimmy Traina, who covers the media for Sports Illustrated, said the only thing the ESPN Fox bundle means is that it will cost you $40 instead of $50 to have access to both. You know what? If all it means to me is you cut a fifth of the price, that's good business. That's a good day. That's good business. But yeah, let's get, like, could we get, I don't know, some kind of CBS streaming in there so we can catch the other games, and maybe an Amazon and Netflix deal so you can grab the Thursday night and the Christmas NFL game, put all them together in one, tell me what the price is, and I might just get that. Oh, and Paramount, because apparently, again, I told you there's a bunch of network news. Paramount and the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championships, has agreed to a 7-year, $7.7 billion exclusive U.S. media rights deal with Paramount. I have questions on this. I'm not a combat sports big fan.
Yeah, I usually find out about the cards like the day of. It's like, oh, it's a UFC card today.
But
I'm never upset about it.
Yeah, if it's a giant boxing match, I may try to find a way to watch. But that's about it. I'm not really. That's just not my cup of tea. I have enough sports. If I started going home telling my wife, hey, you know what? I got to now catch every UFC event in addition to every NHL game the Canes play, in addition to every Panthers game and every football and basketball game for Duke, UNC, and State, most for Wake, and any other big games in any of those sports. I also want to tack on UFC card, and I don't know how well that would go.
There's also a couple of golf majors.
Well, yeah, that
Grand Slam tennis. But there's NASCAR races too.
I will say I don't watch every shot of golf like I used to. Some things got to be sacrificed. But Sundays, and it's always on in the background. It's always going on while we're doing other things. But UFC has agreed 7-year, $7.7 billion deal. I am curious just for the business side of this. Does this mean there's no more pay-per-view and they're just going to be on Paramount?
That was what it seemed like based on the announcement that pay-per-view was kind of going to be done away with. But isn't that a big part of the fighter contracts too? Yeah. So I don't know what they're going to do with that.
Or is it, I was thinking could be more like Red Zone going to ESPN streaming. It's not just going to be included in ESPN streaming. It's you have to have ESPN, and then as the streaming service,
you got to buy the add-on.
As an add-on, I'm wondering if the big UFC cards won't be. You need to have Paramount and go get the add-on for pay-per-view, because you're right. Like the percentage of pay-per-view and stuff is, I think, usually negotiated, but maybe UFC is different. I don't pretend to know all the ins and outs. I'll have to talk to Victoria Vodanek, who produces the Adam Gold Show. She's our combat sports fan aficionado. As number 4, let's hit number 3.
Wake moving up front. Carolina will hand to Hampton. Leaps over the pile. Is hit at the 4. Let's go! His way in for the touchdown. Hampton was met midair and would not be stopped. Wow.
That is one of my favorite plays of last college football season. And the producers know it, so they always, anytime we're going to talk UNC football, they always play that highlight just so I get all excited. If you haven't seen it, it was UNC against Wake Forest. It was Omari and Hampton on the goal line, and he defied the laws of physics. He stared right into the eyes of Sir Isaac Newton and said, "You know nothing." He tried to leap over a pile, and he was met in midair. And without putting his feet on the ground, somehow he got more power, which you're not supposed to be able to do. You need the ground to push forward, but he's that, I guess, midair powerful.
UNC Wake football games are always crazy. And that one last year too, it ended. Wake tried a very unique onside kick I've never seen before either. They kind of lined up like they were at scrimmage for a normal play and then just blasted it at the legs of the guy in the front. I think they almost recovered it, but then I don't think they did. But it in practice, the way they wanted it to bounce worked. They just didn't get the recovery. But I remember that play from that. That was a crazy game.
If you're fantasy football is coming up, if you're going into your draft and you want to convince yourself to draft Omari and Hampton, just go watch all of his carries and catches against Wake Forest and NC State. You'll leave going I think I have to draft him in the first round. You probably won't have to because his average draft position isn't that high, but you'll want to. All of that to say, he's not lining up for UNC this year. It's expected to be Davion Goss as the starting running back, although we'll see, right? You don't usually get official depth charts and things till game week. Whoever the running back is, job may have just gotten a little bit more difficult for UNC because Austin Blaske, according to Inside Carolina, and a non-contact foot injury, is expected to be out for at least a handful of the first games, right? Looking to come back about October 4th. Again, all of that due to sources speaking to Inside Carolina. That one hurts UNC. I think he is and usually the center on a team is a low-key, really important spot. It's a position that requires a lot of chemistry, a lot of communication, and especially with UNC having still a quarterback competition, right? You hear the promo running of Adam Gold a couple times of they haven't named Gio Lopez the starter, but they brought him here for a reason. Could be Gio Lopez, could be Max Johnson, could be maybe Bryce Baker, the freshman, is showing the world what he can do in practice. Who knows? But it's tough to have really good communication and really good chemistry between all three quarterbacks and multiple centers, right? Because now, you start to get to the math problem, right? How many combinations of center and quarterback are there if there are 2 or even 3 centers and 3 quarterbacks? You got to get all the possible combinations. That's tough. So with Blaske out, who steps up? Which quarterback has better chemistry with the backup? There's a lot going on there. So obviously hoping for a speedy recovery for him, as we do all players. But also it'll be a coaching hurdle already for Belichick's new coaching staff. That's number 3. Let's say number 2.
Just the two of us.
Can Lance cash it in? He's going to look to run, and Lance has enough space. Touchdown! Trey Lance, number 5 from 5 yards out.
Interesting. So this starting 5 number here, number 2 is the other NFL preseason action that went on this week, right? Not the Panthers game, because obviously the Panthers will likely be coming up next. That's all the information I believe that we gave Max. And you led with the Trey Lance highlight. Are you all in on the Trey Lance rejuvenation?
I just looked up NFL preseason highlights. I'm not going to lie to you. I found the first one.
Trey Lance, he's back. As if he...
It's a hat tip to a former top 5 pick.
He's here. I don't know if he was ever there. to be back. But he's playing very well. There's a few things. One, Trey Lance, I think, is like 6 or 7 months older than Bryce Young. He's been around the block a few times. Wild talent. That's not what I was intending to talk about here. But there is a world where he becomes something. He's so physically gifted. Do you know what actually is the problem here? The problem here with Trey Lance, and I've had this conversation a bunch of times, his draft year didn't have a combine. It was COVID. They didn't have in-person meetings. They didn't have any of that. And I believe if those happened, he would not have been drafted number 3 overall, because instead everybody was just sitting alone in their house watching film, and they saw this dude that hit 23 miles per hour on the GPS, and everybody just was like, oh my goodness, and he rose up draft boards. I think if you would have talked to him, you would have realized he depended on his athleticism a ton. He was playing a lower level of football, FCS, at North Dakota State. I think he probably should have been treated like Jalen Milroe is being treated. Jalen Milroe, drafted in the 3rd round, unbelievable athlete, fast as all get out. He's going to flash a few times in preseason. Then he's going to go sit behind Sam Darnold. And he's going to learn. And he's going to watch. And he's going to get acclimated. Trey Lance was never really given that chance. So I think really the issue was just how high he was drafted. Either way. Other news from NFL preseason action. I've never thought I would say this about preseason. Did you see the Jags kicker? Cam Little made a 70-yard field goal.
That was so awesome. But even awesomer, it was his reaction. Did you see on Twitter?
Because people are upset. Just to give you a breakdown, the all-time NFL record is what, 66?
Yeah, Justin Tucker with the 66. That was like 4 years ago in Detroit.
He drilled a 70-yarder, probably another 5 or 6 yards. It could have gone. It could have been a 74, 75.
Justin Tucker's hit the crossbar and barely got over in a dome, and he hit a 70-yarder outside that cleared it like completely.
But because it was in the preseason, from a record standpoint, it's as if it never happened. It doesn't count. It's here today, gone tomorrow. And he tweeted out something along the lines of like, "Don't worry, this isn't the last 70-yarder" or something like that. That's A, baller way to say it. B, I like that they did it in the preseason because like if you're Jacksonville's playing the Panthers week 1. The Panthers now have to defend the 50-yard line as if that's where the points start. Right? Because for those of you that are unaware, maybe not all future or former college holders, you have, depending on your kicker, depending on how long the kick is, 7 to 7.5 yards off the line of scrimmage. At the 50, you get the end zone, that's 60. You snap it back, 67.5 yards is what a field goal would be from the 50-yard line. He just drilled a 70-yarder. So that they're like, you're aware of this as a defense, right? Like once you get inside their field goal range, it's a turnover, you're giving up points, right? That's the way you're thinking. The Panthers have to defend the 50. Like they're on their side of the field, and you're going like, we may have just given up too much. We may lost the field position battle. They can get points here. That's absurd. I don't know how consistent he is at 70, but if you're drilling from 70, like 65 has to be well within your bag of tricks. So 48, you got to defend against your own 48-yard line? That's absurd. Cam Little. Crazy.
I'll be picking him up in fantasy this year.
Do you get bonus points for like an 80-yard kick? You have to, right?
I think who knows? I know you.
Usually they're just 50
get it for
plus.
60, so.
Yeah, usually it's like 30, 40, 50 plus. 70 can't be grouped in with like a 51-yarder. There's got to be something there. Break an NFL record, get an extra 10 points. Mostly around the NFL, good games, bad games. Jackson Dart looked good. Emeka Egbuka looked good. TreVeyon Henderson made some big plays. On and on and on and on. Take everything with a grain of salt. Who knows if it'll stick? But certain players you look back and go, "Oh yeah, that's when I knew it." Justin Fields scored a rushing touchdown. On brand. Shout out to the Jets. What number is that? 2. Let's get to number 1.
Sanders and Coker to the left, Thielen and T-Mac to the right. Chuba Hubbard back on as the running back to the left side out of the shotgun for Young from the 5. Sets up in the pocket, looking middle. Pocket breaks down, he rolls out to the right side. At the 15, directing traffic at the 10. Throws back in the end zone, Jalen Coker's got it. Coker for the touchdown, and the Panthers score first.
We've been talking about the Panthers preseason game 1 reactions in and out throughout the show. I think for the rookies, it is a different beast than for the veterans. Because the rookies, it's 100% of what we have to judge them by at the NFL level. For the veterans, like, I'm not looking at Bryce and saying he had a good second series against the Browns backups in the first preseason, so that's going to move my opinion at all when I've watched him for 2 full seasons in the NFL and how he's dealt with it, right? That's going to drive my opinions of Bryce so much more. But for somebody like Tetairoa McMillan, we don't have 2 full years at the NFL level. We have 1 game, 2 series within that game to judge him by at the NFL level. And that's why I think it matters a bit more. Here's Bryce Young's thoughts on his new 8th overall pick wide receiver, Tetairoa McMillan.
You know, we've been on it. He's done a great job throughout, from when he got here after draft day to all the way through the offseason, through training camp, just making a concerted effort of making sure that we're communicating, we're on the same page. And really it's been all the receivers. They do a great job of not just running their route and then going back and putting their head down. And they want to know the why, know the how, know if there's something they can improve. And I'm the same way. As a QB room, I take pride in it. We all take pride in it, but making sure we're communicating. Hey, is this what you want? Is this what I want? Whatever it may be, making sure we're on the same page. So seeing that from him and the whole receiving core it's great to see.
I do think it is noticeable, and I think this is important. I think it's noticeable that Bryce Young and Tetairoa McMillan like each other. And I don't want to make this like everybody in the NFL has to be friends and you got to be buddies to be good. But I think number 1 wide receiver and quarterback, it helps. It definitely helps. I think you can put that the like the good plays. Of course, everybody's like, oh, it was an awesome catch on 3rd down, or oh, the deep ball down the sideline was a highlight. Like, yeah, I don't care if you like or not like somebody. If they make that play, you're going to run up and chest bump, right? You're going to be excited. But it was the play down on the goal line that didn't go well. A little extra juke from Tetairoa McMillan, doesn't get his head around quickly enough, ball whizzes by his face, and it was an incomplete. But it was their reaction after. It's how everything they've said since. There's a trust there. Right? So when Tetairoa McMillan quickly looks at him, taps his chest, gives Bryce the thumbs up, saying like, good job on you, that was my fault, I believe Bryce believes him. So instead of what happens sometimes, there's a bunch of Kobe Bryant quotes like this, which is like, why do you? I'm paraphrasing, but why are you taking so many shots with 2 hands in your face? And he says like, well, when I pass it to my teammates, they miss with no hands in their face, so I take the shot, right? It didn't strike me as like Bryce Young threw it to Tetairoa McMillan. He didn't whip his head around, so now I was like, next time I'm not going to throw it to him. His head's never. Instead, it was like, all right, he learned the lesson. I trust him. We'll talk about it. He'll fix it. Next time, he's going to make the catch. I think that matters. Elsewhere, as far as rookies go, Nick Scorton did get a sack for the Carolina Panthers. Need a bunch of those from him. Princely Umamielen, not as much success. But either way, Dave Canales talked about what he liked from his rookie 2nd and 3rd round edge rushers.
Oh, just the effort. Princely, off the top of my head, I remember one run play where he set a beautiful edge. Sam Roberts comes barreling down from the backside, and when you can set a great edge on the perimeter, you allow those big men inside to kind of come off their blocks, make plays, and the backers to flow over the top. Probably my favorite Nick Scorton play of the night was, had a great rush. Shedeur worked his magic, got out of it, kind of scrambled all the way back to the right. Nick pivoted, ran another 40 yards, chased him and knocked him out of bounds on a play that could have been a huge run. That's what we saw on film, that effort, that relentless pursuit, and I was so excited to just see that show up today because that's just great football, and so I'm really proud of him for, just playing with the kind of effort that we were expecting from him.
Do you know what is a guaranteed way to have your clip shown in a team meeting the day after a game? Be 265 pounds or heavier and run a long way. It's unbelievable. If a defensive lineman is rushing the passer, setting their edge or whatever, and a runner or a quarterback or whatever escapes and is getting downfield, if you just hoof it as hard as you can in pursuit, 100% you're going to be an example the day after a game of this is what we're looking for, fellas. See this? They're going to get the little laser pointer out. They're going to circle you, and they're going to say, this play is gone. It's by him. He doesn't give up on it. Watch this effort. Hit play. Rewind it back. This guy is 270 pounds. He's outrunning somebody that's 220. You see this safety over here? You should be embarrassed. It happens at every team I've ever been on. If the big guy hoofs it, coaches love you. It's the easiest way to be in the good graces. Nick Scorton, first game, hoofing it. Just watch me run. And it's the best part. You know why? You don't have to worry about getting tired because you know you're not playing the whole game. Because the fourth stringer is going to handle the end of the game. It's just cheap brownie points from – no, I'm kidding. It's actually what you want from your young guys is the effort and everything. But you also want the production. So Nick Scorton had a great game. He had the teacher's pet play of the game, and he had a sack. The real play, like that's what you actually want. So it was perfect for Nick Scorton. Princey Umanmielen, he's only like 245, so he doesn't get as much credit for pursuing. But do it anyway. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need some numbers game contestants. Do we know what the prize is? Oh, it's Sharky's gift card, I believe.
It is a Sharky's gift card.
Sharky's gift card. If you want some delicious wings, Sharky's gift card.
$25 Sharky's gift card.
$25 gift card to Sharky's, who, by the way, is presenting our Numbers Game live show presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill coming up August 21st. If you want to win the Sharky's gift card, you got to play the Numbers Game. If you want to play the Numbers Game, you got to call in now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a $25 gift card to Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Sharky's with back-to-back-to-back-to-back wins for best wings in the Triangle, voted best sports bar, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world. Sharky's. Again, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants. Call in now. Numbers Game coming up.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. Make sure you protect yourself out there on the road, and that all comes down to making sure you have the proper gear, having the proper equipment, because if you are in a motorcycle accident, even at no fault of your own, you want to make sure you can protect your body as much as possible. Make sure you're wearing the proper boots. Make sure you're wearing armor, especially with a jacket, even in the summertime. There are plenty of jackets out there that are perfectly breathable, that are meant for the warm weather, that still have the elbow pads, the shoulder pads, and the back armor. And if you can, wear a helmet that fully covers your head. Make sure you protect yourself if you are in an accident. But if you are in an accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS first, even before you contact your insurance company. They're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and your gear are worth. That's why your case evaluation is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The latest Browns hope is Shador. Before then, it was Baker Mayfield, it was Johnny Manziel. At the time they were with the Cleveland Browns, I think neither of them were ready for the stardom and the roller coaster ride that being the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns comes with the way that this guy is.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. And we have our contestants on the line. It is Frank in Clayton and Carter in Raleigh. They are on the line, getting ready to battle it out for a Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill gift card. It's big prize, $25 gift card. By the way, second annual Numbers Game live show presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill takes place Thursday, August 21st. The perfect score contestants, those that have gotten 5 for 5s over the last year up until last week. Last week and forward counts towards next year. All the perfect score players will battle the clock and each other at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills, a fabulous hotel for all your needs, and one will remain standing as the Numbers Game champion. You can watch as we crown our Numbers Game champion live on YouTube. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Go subscribe now so you know where it is and you won't miss it. Special thanks to Onsite AV, a full-service event production company, for supplying the sights and sounds of Numbers Game live August 21st. Now, as always, we will bring both of our contestants on, ask them the same question. Max will be the judge, and he'll pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. Frank and Clayton, are you there?
I am here.
All right. The kind of our traditional Monday question for you. What was the highlight of your past weekend, but because we're a sports show, keep it sports-related somehow, some way?
Well, I would say I'm a long-suffering New York Giants fan, and I was watching the exhibition game on Saturday, and they got some good quarterback play. So I was pretty excited to see that, to be honest with you.
Who do you think is going to be the starter?
Well, it's going to be Wilson.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Who should be the starter?
Well, I don't know. I think it still should be Wilson, but I think we'll see. I think we'll see some of the other guys weeding in there as the season goes along. So.
All right, Frank, stay on the line. We'll see if your answer gets chosen. That brings us to Carter and Raleigh. Carter, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Same question to you. What was the highlight of your past weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure it's somehow, some way related to sports.
Jalen Coker.
All right. No further explanation. Was that a mic drop?
Mic drop.
All right. Max, you get to decide. Is it the quarterback play from the New York Giants or Jalen Coker?
I respect the straightforwardness of the Jalen Coker. So I'll go with Carter on this one. But it was I feel bad for Frank as a Giants fan. But Panthers,
Are you a Giants fan?
No, I'm a Panthers. I'm a Panthers fan. But I was going to say
Giants fan. So
like
you feel bad for him being a Giants.
I feel bad for him, but I also feel bad for us. So I can't feel bad enough to give it to him. So
hey, I mean Frank's seen a couple Super Bowls. Eli Manning exists. Let's go to Carter and Raleigh. He gets to go first then. Carter, you get to go first. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right. We have NFL, so many Johnsons. These are all players whose last name is Johnson. NFL, ACC pros since 2020, so players that played their college in the ACC since 2020, obviously. NBA short names, we're looking at players whose first and last name combined for 9 letters or less. Or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go ACC players.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. And again, this category are players in the NFL that have been in the NFL since 2020, but played their college football in the ACC. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. T. Higgins, Cincinnati Bengals.
17.
Incorrect. Josh Downs, Indianapolis Colts.
11.
Incorrect. T. Higgins, Cincinnati Bengals.
5.
Correct. Travis Etienne, Jacksonville Jaguars.
7.
Incorrect. Josh Downs, Indianapolis Colts.
0.
Incorrect. Travis Etienne, Jacksonville Jaguars. You know what? This I don't know if you'll find this funny, but it's kind of unusual. We were looking for number 1 for both. T. Higgins, we would have accepted 85 or 5. He's worn them both. Josh Downs, number 1 with the Colts, and Etienne, number 1 with the Jags. 7 obviously is close, like in your mind's eye, right? The 7 and the 1 kind of look the same. But unfortunately, just 1 for you. Actually, fortunately, just 1 for you. You avoided the shutout, and a tie does go to you by way of going first. So stand the line, Frank, and we'll see if you get the win, okay? Oh, was that Carter? Stand the line, Carter.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yep.
getting you flipped around. And that means Frank is up now. So, Frank, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, so many Johnsons, all players with the last name Johnson. NBA, short names, meaning players whose first and last name combine for 9 letters or less. Or NHL, hurricanes throughout history.
Hurricanes throughout history.
All right. All right. So the way this works, I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. In this category, I will say the team name, even though you know it in this category. It's the Hurricanes, to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. And you do need at least 2 for the win. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, sir. We're good.
All right. If you're good to go, your time will start when you hear the horn. Andrei Svechnikov, Carolina Hurricanes.
37.
Correct. Jordan Stahl, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Correct. Brad Malone, Carolina Hurricanes.
16.
Incorrect. Bob Booner, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
Incorrect. Brad Malone, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Bruno St. Jacques, Carolina Hurricanes.
19.
Incorrect. Bob Booner, Carolina Hurricanes.
6. 5.
Incorrect. Bruno St. Jacques, Carolina Hurricanes.
21.
Incorrect. Brad Malone, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
You were kind of in the right categories for a few of them. Well, you got 2. First of all, you got Svech, you got Stahl, so that's enough for the win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For Malone, we were looking for 24. For Bob, we were looking for 8. And for Bruno, we were looking for 25. Those are the numbers we were looking for. You were in the 20s for both Malone and St. Jacques.
I knew I was in the right ballpark. So I was going to shout out 25 for St. Jacques, but I couldn't because you were saying the other name. So
we get all bundled up there. But still, that's enough for the win. So $25 gift card to Sharkies is coming your way. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
All right, stand the line so Max can grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize. All right, there you go. I wouldn't say it was the cleanest numbers game ever, but well played on both accounts. So even though they didn't necessarily put up the biggest scores, I thought it was a solid showing. And if you missed out on the Sharkies gift cards, don't worry. All week we're giving away Sharkies gift cards during the numbers game, so tune in tomorrow about 5:30 for another chance. Right now, tune in because I have to tell you about Maynard Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Whether it's an electrical problem, a plumbing problem, a cooling problem with your cooling system, heating, HVAC, whatever it is, Maynard Service Company is the place to call. If you're looking outside right now, at least if you're anywhere near our studio, it is darn near pitch black. It looks like it's 9 o'clock outside with the storm coming in. 9 p.m., obviously, with the storm rolling in. At least, again, just looking out the windows that I can see here from the studio. And it's just another reminder of how ridiculous the weather is in North Carolina, right? It could be beautiful and then storming and then hot and then cold. And because of that, you need to make sure your heating and cooling systems are on point all the time because you never know when you're going to need them. Those days where you're like, geez, I was just running the air conditioner yesterday. Now it's time to turn the heater on. It's really, You know what it is. Living in North Carolina is what it is. Manor Service Company also knows what it's like living in North Carolina. Why? Because they're locally owned. Right here, when you call their number, you're talking to somebody here. You're not talking to some service center on the other side of the country or world, and then they're going to connect you with whatever affiliate they have nearby. No, it's all locally owned. Matter of fact, I drove, just a couple minutes from where I'm sitting right now, had a nice meeting with their owner, Brett. So it's literally right here in the Triangle. That's why they service the entire Triangle 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The number you call, 919-361-0993 for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Manor Service Company, 919-361-0993, or visit them online at manorservices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. We'll be back after this with more reaction and a final decision on one of the Panthers' position battles. We know who's going to start at one particular position for Game 1. Stick around.
Get ready.
Concepcion touchdown, 13 yards. NC State leads North Carolina with 8:01 to play.
College football kicks off August 23rd.
Jones a first down and more. 10-5. They've tied the game. Bully ball by the Duke offense. Down the far sideline. Caught at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Bank of America is a nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for Raleigh Weight Loss Center. If you've struggled with your weight like I have, or bounced from one fad diet to the next, you need to listen to this. I can proudly say I lost nearly 20 pounds in 2 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and that was just the start. The program helps you reset your metabolism naturally. No steroids, no shots, no HGH, no side effects, just your body losing a half pound to a pound per day and doing it in a way where you can maintain that goal weight. It's frustrating when you feel like you're doing the right things with zero results. Trust me, I've been there, but this is the lightest I've been in years. My clothes fit better, I have more energy when I'm active and playing sports, and I'm sleeping better. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. Again, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or again, give them a call, 919-897-7506. 919-897-7506. Start that weight loss journey now. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Purple Rain. I swear, our 20-something producers have the least predictable music choices of all time.
I mean, it's raining, so I figured.
Hey, but there's a lot of songs that are about rain.
It's just the first one that came to mind.
It does. I mean, is it actually raining or is it just pitch black out there?
I feel like I can see precipitation for just a peek behind the curtain for those on YouTube, because you can't really see what the only bit of the outside that we can see from the studio. We through a window of a door, we can see across the office. We can see one window.
It is all I need to see, though. It is dramatically dark.
Yeah, about 10 or 15 minutes ago, I mentioned that it basically looked like it was 9:30 p.m. outside. Now it looks a little lighter, but I feel like I do see some precipitation falling. So I saw a flash flood warning or something flash across one of our TV screens earlier. So everyone make sure you be safe.
It is pouring. All right, we just got an update from Rusty. Shout out to Rusty. It is pouring.
For Rusty, it is pouring.
All right, well, that tracks because it looks like starting. Normally I don't talk about the weather a ton here because we cover the entire Triangle and the weather can be different in different places. And quite frankly, what's the weather? That's kind of boring small talk. If you're not planning to go out somewhere. But it startled me when he was like, look outside. I was like, goodness gracious. All right. The Panthers, they played their first preseason game over the weekend, and if all that came out of it was clarity as a center, they had a position battle going at the center position between the veteran Austin Corbett and the youngster Cade Mays. If all that came out of it was clarity at the center position, I think it was and no injuries, which, by the way, it does appear as if the Panthers came out kind of scot-free in the injury department. If those two things are all that happened, thumbs up for the Panthers. It's a win. Dave Canales announced Austin Corbett as the starter. This is what it sounded like.
You know, we talked to Austin and we talked to Cade Mays. They both did a great job. Austin Corbett's going to be our starting center. And we decided to make that decision knowing that this week going to Houston with the joint practice and then having the game, we felt like those reps, just kind of solidifying who's the starter going to be with Bryce. It's a good time to kind of transition to where he's getting more of those reps versus splitting them day after day. It was really close. I'll be honest. I thought Cade did a fantastic job orchestrating the group when he was out there, getting his snaps off on time, moving people in the run game, anchoring in the pass. I mean, it was a really close competition, and I think Corbett just kind of brings a level of leadership that just kind of edged him out, in my opinion. So, but again, competition brings out the best in both guys, and I was really proud of the way that they competed.
If it truly was that close, I think this is the right way to go, because I think it's much easier to go from Corbett to Mays than it is to go the other way. Once you start Mays, who really is, diamond in the rough status, right? He was waived and he was on the Giants practice squad last year, then brought back to the Panthers due to injuries, and then ended up playing well over the last 8 or 9 games. Corbett, on the other hand, has started an entire season for a Super Bowl champion. He was a guard for the Rams in 2021. It's a bit more difficult to kind of go younger to older than it is to go older to younger. So it makes sense. Put Corbett out there, let him be a leader, a veteran, and have Cade Mays continue to do what what he brings to the table, which is be a backup on all 3 of the interior offensive line positions.
Yeah, and Dave Canales mentioned in that same media availability, Cade Mays is still going to be bouncing around on the offensive line. He's definitely a crucial part of their presence up there. So definitely, and one injury, like we mentioned before with the defense,
you'll probably
the depth
need both.
is useful.
You'll definitely need both. Zavala's hurt. Damian Lewis is hurt. Robert Hunt is dealing with some nagging injury stuff. I mean, the interior offensive line already a little banged up. Then there's the Jalen Coker of it all. It's perfect that our caller earlier was like, my highlight of the weekend, Jalen Coker. Jalen Coker needs to play. Jalen Coker needs to play. There is something to be said for the guy that makes the plays needs to be given the opportunities to make the plays. It's certain guys have it, certain guys don't. It doesn't matter if you're the fastest, the strongest, the tallest, the highest rated recruit, the highest draft pick. At a certain point, none of that matters. It's do you make the plays? And Jalen Coker is Johnny on the spot a lot. Right? It goes back to last year. He had 480-something yards, 490 yards. I don't know exactly what the total was. But 80 of it came on one blown coverage. He had an 80-something yard touchdown. And part of me wants to look at that and go, all right, does he really get credit for the defense just blowing a coverage? Do we give him that much value in that? Or was that a play that anyone could have made? And I'm going well, all right, maybe we'll wait and see. But then there's a moment like this game, right? He's not supposed to be out there with the starters. Xavier Legette gets into a fist fight during the game, gets ejected. Coker goes out there, and all of a sudden he's making plays downfield, and it's do we give him credit for the opportunities that he was only given because Xavier Legette threw punches? Or is it just every time there is an opportunity put in front of him, he takes advantage of it? Right? You start to do that. And by the way, last year, he's on the practice squad, right? He's waived. He's on the practice squad. The only reason he gets a shot, why? A bunch of injuries in front of him. But what does he do? He goes out there, and for stretches, he's the best wide receiver on the team. And then this offseason, for the first time, granted, he's only going into his second year, but he has the opportunity to train like an NFL guy. right? He's not worried about combine or pro day. He's not worried about any of that. He gets to train like an NFL guy, and Dave Canales, as we're about to play, believes he improved a ton physically. This is what Canales had to say.
It was a collective effort. It was a collective effort to help Jalen take the next steps in his career, coming off a rookie season and having a plan for your offseason. It was Josh Hinks, it was Denny Kellington, it was myself. It was really a collective group to all sit down and put our heads together and say, okay, we have a plan for you from now until training camp. And I promise you, if you stick to this plan, you'll see good results. Now let's give Jalen the credit. You go away for 5 weeks, and he trained, and he worked himself into great shape, and he made some great plays on offense tonight. I can't wait to watch his special teams reel because he was on a couple of the teams and was available most of the night to help out that way too. And so I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of his response. And, when I see a guy smiling and I know he's confident and know he knows what he's doing and feels great. So I'm really happy that Jalen came and showed up tonight.
Here's the deal. By the way, Jalen Coker's getting a lot of love right now, and he should. We're giving it to him right here. Way to go. He's getting a lot of love for staying around Charlotte and working out all offseason. I can't emphasize enough that if you're an undrafted free agent and after your first year the team wants you around the facility, that sounds awesome. Right? This is not a veteran who's like, I got to go on vacation or no, like it sounds so much fun. Do you hear all the names that Dave Canales referenced that were helping Jalen Coker get better? Where was he at? He was at Holy Cross, right? As a college player. He went from Holy Cross, he's probably sharing like a strength coach with like 50 other dudes, right? They probably got a strength coach and a couple of assistant coaches for a 90 or 100-man roster. To being in the NFL where every time he went in there, it was one-to-one with a pro-level coach, pro-level conditioning staff, trainer, whoever it was. Yes, I'm proud of him for sticking around. I don't see why in the world he wouldn't, though. The other thing is, it just is in line with Jalen Coker. The opportunity was there. He took advantage of it. We got to have a real conversation pretty darn quickly on who should be starting at the wide receiver spot, him or Xavier Legette. The only reason that I was leaning Xavier Legette before the season is because Xavier Legette runs a 4.39 40, and I think this team needs somebody that can take the top off and make safeties pay attention. But again, Jalen Coker has made the deep catches. Xavier Legette's not catching passes over the top. So maybe in a slightly slower, unorthodox way, Jalen Coker can be the guy that makes safeties think. And once you have safeties thinking and knowing they got to stay deep to stay on top of Jalen Coker, Tetairoa McMillan's going to eat on crossers. Adam Thielen's going to continue to work the routes all over the place. If and or when Hunter Renfrow is healthy for a game, he'll jump all over it as well. Hunter Renfrow, by the way, back at practice today. Obviously had missed a week and change leading into the preseason opener with a hammy, but he was out there practicing today. It truly is a situation where people. There's one guy in particular on Twitter that gets on me for quoting Moneyball too much. It applies to so many sports conversations. The point where they're breaking down a prospect and Billy Beane hits him with, if he's such a good hitter, why doesn't he hit good? The opposite is true too. If he's not that good of a wide receiver, why does he keep catching the ball? Right? If Jalen Coker is not a starting caliber wide receiver in the NFL, why every time is he in with the starters is he making plays? At a certain point, the common sense has to take over. Jalen Coker has to play. Has to play. And maybe a lot, too. Also a bigger body. Like, if all the work he did this offseason keeps some of the soft tissue stuff away, the groins, the hammies, and that kind of deal, he's somebody that could play a pretty good role. Bigger dude. Put him next to Tetairoa McMillan and whoever plays that third spot, Adam Thielen, you might have something. A lot of contested catches for all those guys. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are nearing the end of the show here. Please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Search for it, subscribe, like, comment, share, all the things that all the YouTubers ask you to do, I am also asking you to do. That's my safety blanket, so you do whatever you're supposed to. Thank you to Max for keeping us up and running the past couple of days. I believe Dennis will be back tomorrow. Other than that, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe if you're driving in the storm. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for Loan Pronto. Are you maxed out on credit cards? Maybe struggling with high-interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a massive turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Move your sports day forward.
The reality of how to fill time as an unemployed former football coach have taken the spotlight, and it's predictable. Jimbo Fisher wants to coach again just weeks after taking an ACC TV gig, and John Gruden collects swag while telling everyone he wants a college shot in the SEC. Old habits are hard to break, but really, who's going to say no to either guy?